Snowy downtown Eau Claire. We're all warm inside here at this championship event in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the Eau Claire Curling Club. 2024 USA Curling U21 Men's and Women's National Championships. 8 men's teams and 8 women's teams vying for the right to represent the United States at the World Junior Men's Championship and the World Junior B Women's Championship. You see the standings coming into this men's draw. Number 5, Senzali pacing the field at 4-0. Brenden Hebert also at 3-1. Fitzgerald and Gensel at 2-2. Lanoy and Rose at 1-3, and Church at 0-4. Here are the matchups for tonight's draw. On sheet A, Aiden Fitzgerald taking on Mason Gensel. Sheet B, Nick Senzali will face Caden Rose. On sheet C, Ryan Church taking on Matthew Lanoy. And our feature game on sheet D, Caden Hebert playing Zach Brenden. Here are our teams. You see Hebert and Brenden both with 3-1 records. Big matchup for playoff implications tonight. Here is Team Hebert with skip Caden Hebert, third Jackson Bestland, second Benji Perrell, lead Jack Wendland, alternate Shane Nelson, and coach Mike Poplinski. And Team Brenden with skip Zach Brenden, third Connor Grabo, second Miles Grabo, lead Owen Nelson, and coach Dave Jensen. Tyler George coming to you live this evening, joined by Ben Richardson. Ben, thanks for coming in and spending time with us this evening.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to be here. Excited to watch this game. A couple really solid teams here. Should be a good one.
And Ben, junior's not that long ago for you. Much longer ago for some of us. But were any of these players in the field playing when you were back in juniors?
You know, I don't believe so. I will say that probably I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, I was here at this club and I was just filling in for some type of a league game. And I do remember Benji played with me, Jenna Brzeski, and somebody else that I can't remember, and I think he was probably about half the height that he is now. So I do remember him from back then, but I don't think I ever had the chance to play any of these guys.
Yeah, I can identify with that from working with a lot of these players at camps, and they're about half the height. But we take pictures together, and they keep going, and a few of them are now taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting any taller, I can tell you that. Ben, of course, a very accomplished player in the junior scene and the men's scene. A national men's silver medalist, a WUGS silver medalist as well. A lot of hardware in your closet, Ben. We always want to make sure we get the credentials of the people in here. Mike Poplinski in here, the coach of Team Hebert, a junior national champion in his own right about 150 years ago.
Yeah, Mike's a great guy. I knew he's an Olympian, but I didn't realize he was a junior national champion as well.
Yes.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, the first time I ever flew in an airplane was to go watch junior nationals in 1996 in Schenectady, New York, and Mike was in that field. They won the year before in 95 in Hibbing, and I believe lost in the semifinals in 96. But I watched Mike play as a 13, 14-year-old myself and wanted to aspire to that level of curling, and that seems like forever ago now. But
I'd say it's safe to assume that you did reach that goal.
I got to that level at least, yeah, but that is the high level of the sport to you when you're that age. So I'm sure there's a lot of young players in the building watching tonight that feel the same way.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite memories just from when I first started out, you know, watching I think 2013 Nationals was the first time I ever really watched full games. And
sure.
Had people like Corey Dropkin in that field. Luke Violette was playing. He's my now teammate. really inspired me to keep with it.
We got 4 rocks in play already in this first end. Team's not wasting time. We've seen a few draws with both teams trading hits, trying to get comfortable and get used to the ice. But now we're at the midpoint of the tournament, starting to jockey for playoff position. Teams are a little more aggressive early in the game.
I like to see that. You know, if you're comfortable with what the ice is doing, like you said, it's kind of the midpoint of the week. If you know what to expect, you can get after it in that first end, and often that kind of makes the difference later in the game.
That's Miles Grabo with the out-turn draw that just bounces off and rolls to the open.
I didn't like it.
Caden Hebert holding the broom now. Second, Benji Perrell.
10-5.
Playing the out-turn hit and roll. And Ben, we've seen this sheet a lot this week already, and this side coming off the boards, no surprise, has been the straighter side, but getting curl both ways. The misses have tended to be a little bit on the wide side, and especially with draws on the deep side coming off of the wall. And the break point really isn't until you get to the 4-foot line where it turns over.
I don't hate it. It's super steep.
I feel like that's pretty typical with clubs where you have a straighter side, especially on that board side. It doesn't quite catch the curl, so it just keeps on going and going.
Okay, you like peel or firm? Okay, you got it.
So Zach Brenden playing in off here, double, trying to get both of these Reds moving. Connor Grabo playing that inside-out in-turn.
Should curl more than the other way.
Thins it and gets them both going. Will the other Red leave? Just bites on the outside, but a good result there with hammer for Team Brenden.
Yeah, at the very least opens up the 4-foot. Don't think they cared too much about that biter, just wanted to make sure that they could score.
And Ben, we've talked a lot about the speed of the ice being, you know, anywhere ranging from low 14s to low 15s for draws this week, hog to hog times. But another thing to mention is the striking bands on the stones. As they're only a year old, you can hit half a rock with hack weight on the center line and still clear the rock because of how live the bands are. So really shot-making ice.
I love it when the striking bands are lively like that. It can be a bit of a shock coming into a championship like this, and you're used to club rocks that the striking bands are much, much older. And then you get here and you think, oh, I can hit half a rock and stick in the rings for sure, and ends up rolling all the way out easily. But it just makes the game more fun, you know, just makes it, you can make more shots that way.
9, we're off. Clean.
They're now on third stones for Connor Grabo. That was Miles still on the previous shot.
Clean.
Shot, Connor.
At least with the brothers, one with a hat and is a southpaw, one without a hat and is a righty. It's a little easier to tell them apart when one or the other is shooting.
Good way to keep track of it.
You need these little tricks in the booth, Ben, because we're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen.
Yeah, you know, I think I may have already made a mistake at the beginning. I said Benji was the person I curled with. It was actually Caden.
Sure.
Caden that I curled with a long time ago. There's a picture of it somewhere. I got to pull that up.
Hard. Clean. Clean.
Hit and stick made by Bestland.
Sorry.
I like that weight choice there, you know, throwing softer weight. You can manipulate it a little bit more. You saw the knifing technique there. If you throw it a little too hard, it's a little harder to control with that directional sweeping.
These teams flying through this first end. Connor Grabo throwing his second. And both teams now, after that bunch of rocks in the center earlier, content to trade hits. So interesting decision here, though, Ben, if they decide to try to roll underneath or roll away.
Yeah, wouldn't be horrible to roll underneath, especially since they don't have hammer. Even if Brenden were to, you know, follow it and freeze to it, you could freeze it back.
I'm gonna bring myself down to control here.
You know, you want all the play to be around the center if you don't have hammer, so it wouldn't be a horrible call, but also not bad to roll away as well and really just try to go for the force.
Yeah. Good 11, boys.
So skip Caden Hebert. His first of the first end. Throwing the out turn hit. Playing soft weight.
Clean. Yep. Clean. Yep.
A little early sweep to hold the line.
Clean.
Looks like they're content just to roll away. But staying in the house, obviously the right thing to do to stay away from a steal. But looks like Brendan's going to go on the attack and go underneath.
Yeah, not a bad call at all. I mean, if you know at this point the force is looking a little inevitable, so might as well try to go for that skips deuce.
I agree. I like the call here by Zach. As long as you said, Ben, you think that you're going to be forced, then you may as well try to get two.
Half 4 foot under? Or?
Yeah, I mean.
I'd say there's a good chance that he'd be playing this draw in his last anyways, so
sure.
Regardless, it'd get a little bit of a practice throw here.
Yeah, and this is a high-level curling decision, too. The junior level, you see them continue to trade hits out, just always killing the other team's stone. But perfect situation to try to get a cheap two at the end. And a good free look for Brenden on the draw, too. So out turn, come around, draw. This is a quick track here. And now with it being a draw against a few points, it's okay to take this one deep and try to bury it.
Shot. I had 4-0. This is okay.
Yeah.
I like going hard for this one. No point in this one.
So Hebert doesn't really like the amount of rock he can see around the guard and is electing to play the draw. So this is already a victory, I'd say, for Zach Brenden.
Yeah, top 4.
Yeah, even if the shot is made, he's only going to be looking at one in comparison to maybe looking at 2 or 3 if he didn't play the draw.
It's really fast on this path. Like that was 14-5, so like 15-3, 15-4. 14.
So same draw path now as Brenden threw for Caden Hebert.
Good at easy.
Out turn, come around, draw. And we've noted that Caden throws a little more rotation than just about anybody else we've seen in the field.
Curl.
This one rotating quite a bit, not as much as we've seen on some other draws from him.
Yeah, I've noticed this whole team tends to throw a little bit more rotation than the other teams, which
trying to nestle up to the side, not bounce off, and may already be shot rock for Team Brenden. It's very close. But yeah, in talking with Coach Mike Poplinski when he was in here earlier, he said that, I don't know if it was for the whole team, but Caden tries to throw 7 rotations on his draws. If I threw 2 draws and you added the rotations together, it wouldn't get to 7.
Yeah, the methodology has changed a little bit these days. It's kind of the Mowat method from Scotland.
Right.
They were one of the first teams to really try to add that extra rotation. And I think the theory there is you can manipulate the rocks with that directional sweeping a little bit better.
So it looks as though Brenden isn't positive that they're shot, so they're just going to play a nice hack weight hit on this backstone. And if you're not sure, no reason not to play this. But a possible skips deuce for Zach Brenden in the first, and you like to see players rewarded for playing the aggressive, correct call.
Touchdown, 12.
Yep. Clean. Whoa.
12.
Clean.
Rail down, 13.
Whoa.
12-5.
Close. Whoa. Curl. Nope. Curl.
They seem to like it.
Whoa.
That'll nestle in just fine.
This looks really good.
That will be 2 for Team Brenden on the last 2 shots They take a 2-0 lead after one end to play.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
So Zach Brendan's aggressive play, the final 2 shots, pays off. Gets the 2-0 lead going to the second end. Lead Owen Nelson. Playing the out turn. Draw to the rings. They're trying to get this into the house. But Ben, we talked about it during the break about how much we love that call from Brenden. Now, we did discuss it during, but the whole objective there is if you can get a 2, it's great. And if there is no blank, may as well take your chance and to get rewarded for doing it. That's great to see. We love that.
Yeah, like you said, a very, very mature call for teams of this age. And I think for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people, one of the most impressive things with these teams is just how like far beyond their years they play, whether it be with strategy or with their deliveries, their technique. Like everything is just so sound.
Jack Wendland going to the corner guard. So Hebert will be on the attack this end. We've seen both of these teams this week too for feature games, and they both seem very laid back. Not getting too over the top, energetic. They stay calm in most situations. I think that's more than a lot of us could say at this point in our curling careers too. So well coached, and 2 coaches that have a lot of experience with that side of things too, that are very laid back, with Mike Poplinski for Team Hebert and Dave Jensen for Coach Brenden.
Yeah, 2 of the more laid back curlers that I know of, so no surprise that these teams have copied their methods.
I would bet that Coach Jensen has a big smiley face at the end of that first in his notes.
I'd say that's a safe bet. Love seeing the intensity with teams out here, but I feel like the teams that can really stay calm, especially when they're under pressure, those are the ones that come out on top. It's never a bad time for a good fist bump, though.
Oh, nothing wrong with that, no. Intensity's good, energy's good, as long as it's focused energy. Long hit and roll across the house from Wendland, does tuck a piece. Nice shot there from Jack.
Very good shot.
Hack or board? Board. Okay.
Really high, and I'm over half of it.
Inside out hit now. Miles Graybo. Miles definitely a candidate for the all-hair team.
Clean.
Carter Mitchell from Team Fitzgerald is definitely on that squad.
Hard, Owen. Hard to stick.
I think Benji might be in the running for that too. He's got a good set of hair.
Hard. Okay. Just out. Really good weight.
Yeah, I'd say Team Brenden might be, as a whole for their team, the top hair team in this event.
I would agree.
Corner.
Owen Nelson's duster, that mustache doesn't hurt either.
If you could put together a team of the best haired curlers out there right now, who would you pick?
Oh boy, think about that one. I might take some notes and come back with an answer, but the now retired Colin Hodgson would have to be lead on that team with all the
that's a good pick.
designs he has in his scalp.
Line's good.
I think I'd be remiss if we didn't choose maybe Matt Hamilton.
Yep, then.
He
Depends.
changes it so much. You never know what he's going to
I was
show
going
up
to say,
with.
depends on the year, depends on the.
It's got to curl.
But he would appreciate Owen Nelson's mustache. We know that.
Oh, of course.
Curl. Hard, keep going. Hard, keep going. All the way.
Come around draw here for
Good bench.
Benji Perrell. Buried in the top of the 8. Good placement.
Put it here.
Yeah, really good spot. Don't want that too deep where it leaves Team Brenden a freeze. A freeze to shrink the scoring area. Top 8 is right where you want that.
We've talked about that a lot this week, too, about the more experienced teams playing those draws around center guards with hammer to the top of the 8-foot and keeping that scoring space open. And just as you said, Ben, it takes that freeze away. So if you're frozen and still partially in the 12-foot, the team with hammer still has the whole house to throw to, especially out to the wing and not bunch rocks up in the center to play for their multiple point end.
Lots of line. Okay. Line's getting better, but it's got to curl. Curl. Where?
Best example of that I can come up with, I've mentioned this all the time too, is John Landsteiner's come around draw on the 8th end of our Olympic final. Dead stuck, full 8-foot underneath, and that was a problem rock, the biggest problem rock for Team Sweden, the entire end, having to try to get around that stone because they couldn't freeze to it. And that rock never moved the entire end and ended up scoring for a point.
Well, you know, I've watched the end of that end a lot more than the beginning of that end, but now
he
that
doesn't
you say
get
it,
the
makes
highlight
sense.
film for it. Yeah,
No,
I
he
mean,
doesn't get the recognition.
they should show that 1,000 times over. That draw around right to the top of the 8s.
Schuster's double, whatever.
It was a good
Landsteiner's
double,
draw,
yeah.
That's the real
That
highlight.
draw to the 8s, let me tell you.
Gotta go. Yep, on that one. Yes, Jack.
The contact on both stones actually ends up great for Team Hebert, as that chips the stone under the corner and rolls away.
A little sneaky result there, but ends up working out really well.
Hit it thick, you're still fine. I'm seeing the in. You like your intern? Okay, 7-5. Nice.
So the lefty, Connor Grabo.
7. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Playing his intern going inside out.
Yep. Whoa. I'll take it. Whoa. No roll. Okay. Ah, my bad.
Just a little bit thin.
Shoot. Center.
Ben, where do you like the draw here now with this setup?
Like right back where Benji's was.
You know, I don't mind this call coming in top 8. They've already thrown it, as we talked about, so they have a good idea what it's going to do. I also wouldn't mind just splitting the house and keeping some separation, especially with that center guard being so high. Team Brenden could decide to come around it, but most likely Hebert would be able to chase it in some way.
Easy line. Room.
Jackson Bestland, indeed playing that intern come around draw. And I don't believe it's a right or wrong situation on this. It's all about what you want to try to do the rest of the end. And going for 2 by playing open is just fine. Going around the center, if you're saying this is our way to score more than 2, then you can play that shot too.
Yeah, really just up to team preference.
Not much. I could probably dig it with hack, though.
Super. Yeah, I think we can get hack. Unless you rather just sink. I think I like this. Let's go for hack.
So precise shot here, going inside out and trying to hit and roll with hack weight off of that rock under the corner guard.
Should be close. Maybe a touchdown, but it should be pretty close.
Connor Graybo's out turn.
Lots of room. Up. Curl. Up. Hard curl the whole way.
Gotta get to the 4-foot
Hard. Hard, Owen. Up. Hard, you gotta go.
Really kind of started it on the wrong side of the center line with the release. And Ben, I'm sure you've seen even in the brief time you've been here, that break line, it's the same as our national ice every time. Once it gets across the center, that's where it takes that turn. But if you just pop it a little bit on that line, it takes its time getting over, and that's exactly what happened on that release.
Like back 4-way.
Yeah, it can be easy on those inside-out shots to kind of ride the center line with your delivery, and or even if you're coming out with the broom, just kind of pop it just a little bit. It'll ride that center line forever.
A chance to go on the attack now for Team Hebert.
Clean, yep. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Curl. Curl. Whoa.
Hard jack.
Trying the split here, it looks like.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, jack in. In jack, hard. Hard jack.
That's a really good
Keep
shot.
going. Where'd you be?
Gets both on. Hair thinner might have gotten that one rolling under the corner too, but very good result.
It's close.
They all go, Ben?
I think so. You know,
Let's get a double.
I always go with Kevin Martin's technique with those right angles.
Right.
And if I draw a line between these, I think it's pretty close to a right angle, so I do think it's there.
Thinking firm then?
Yeah, I think you need to hit the top stone over the top of
Yep.
the second stone on that right angle you're talking about. I think they do all go.
Shots like these, I like to focus on one double. Like, just make the double
Right.
onto the left one, and if you catch the right one, that's almost a bonus. But when it's lined up like this, you make the double, it should make the triple.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't have to look at how do I make the triple really with how these are lined up. It's if I make this double, am I making the triple? Obviously, you have to know which side of the rock you're hitting it to, but if you're saying I'm playing the slash over the top of this to get both, if I make it, then I probably get all three.
Yeah, I feel like tricks like that where you can just make it a little simpler for yourself can really help.
Generally, if Kevin says it, it's not a bad one to follow either.
No.
Starting to turn over now.
All good, Zach.
That was bad.
Just a little too thin.
I rumbled.
He's going to try that.
Actually wasn't that far off of getting all three either. Just needed to come up a little more.
Yeah, I didn't miss that by much. A couple extra inches of curl probably would have made it.
It's a mean game.
It's an unforgiving game. Game of inches.
I don't really like
Ah, yeah, no, then he goes there. It's still tricky.
So what do you like here, Ty? Where do you put this first one for Caden?
There's a couple spots you can go where you're not really leaving
Dead
a
here.
good double. I don't like that one because they can play off the outside, stick it under the corner.
I should be able to dig it, right? It's high
I
enough.
almost like throwing it to the back of the 8-foot open.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. I
Make the
think
hit.
just making sure you
Yeah,
don't
right
leave
side
an
of
easy
no, but it's
double.
still getting
You don't
to
leave
it.
something where if
Like,
you
just-
make the double, you're under some kind of a guard.
And if you do throw it in the 8-foot, wherever it is with this stone, I mean, whether it's back 8 or where they go,
Yeah, foot higher.
if it's buried, then, or their shot to get out of the end might be playing off of the number 3 counter, so you're making them hit third. If you throw it in the back of the 8-foot, his way out is hitting and rolling probably underneath the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a good hit and roll.
So I'd like to throw this one somewhere where they can't play to the number 1 counter and get their best result.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that open back 8s is probably the best spot for that. They're throwing towards the corner. Caden Hebert's first of this second end.
Line's good.
Yep, I dropped
Little
it.
room.
See that extra rotation again on this
Wait
draw.
only.
Should carry it a little bit further than
Wait
a rock
only.
with less rotation.
Okay,
Benchies.
just here. Distance.
The line's good.
16 almost. 15-8.
You're a 15-8,
Line's good.
and that extra rotation you talked about, Ben, carries that all the way down.
Good sweep, boys.
Not a bad spot. I like that.
Yeah, really good weight control from Caden.
We make this roll really good.
Those inside outs, especially early in the game, can sometimes be a bit of a guess.
Yep.
But clearly they communicated what weight needed to be thrown.
I think that's in the ice, Connor.
9-5, trying to flop under.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't know if
stone
nose
goes more
even
than-
outcounts
So,
either of the other
we make
2
the roll good,
stones.
Maybe a steal.
So overall, you get a good result out of that.
Yeah, I think you need to roll a little bit here, at least to get second.
See if Zach Brenden can get the roll under the corner.
Connor.
Seen this line run as straight as any on the sheet. His final stone of the second.
Touchdown, 10. Nope, 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 nope. Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. No roll, no roll. Whoa.
Just overrolls a little bit, on-off on the sweep, and takes a little more turn than they expected at the end.
It's those lively striking bands we were talking about. Even just from my perspective, watching that come down the sheet, I thought it wasn't rolling that far and went maybe about a foot farther than they thought it would.
So it'll be an open hit and stick for Caden Hebert. Follow up that deuce by Team Brenden in the first with a 3 of their own. Right on that center line that we've been talking about. Probably about control weight here. Final stone for Caden.
Close. Yep. 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 Yep.
It's already across the center, but
Yep.
a little extra rotation again, trying to hold that line.
Hard.
Should be just fine.
Good sweep.
That will be 3 for Team Hebert. Points flying early, and they lead 3-2 after 2 ends of play. And folks, we'd like to tell you about Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years. They're proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all of the top products from most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Team Hebert with a 3 in the second end of this feature matchup. Now leading 3-2 after 2 ends. Tyler George here with national men's silver medalist, national WUG silver medalist, about 800-time junior medalist, Ben Richardson.
I love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yeah, just keep listing off those medals.
Well, that might be it. So.
I didn't get my first men's medal until I think I was 26, 25 or 26.
That's fine. Mine's all I care about.
It was a silver.
Okay, good. Like it. Good.
And I don't know where it is. Not anymore. I probably should, but that one's painful. That was the year the Olympic trials and the nationals were the same event. So you win, you go to Worlds, and you go to the Olympics.
What year was that?
09.
Oh, yeah. Let me take a wild guess at who won that year.
Yeah, it's not hard to figure out if it's anytime after 06 when he was a lead. And it's a pretty easy answer.
Some guy whose name rhymes with Mooster.
Don't ask me how many times in a row I'd beaten him before that final either.
That's for getting aggressive.
It'll never go away.
Those ones haunt you.
Let's wrap, but I think that's.
I never got the chance to play in any men's nationals until Wausau because World Juniors always conflicted with men's nationals.
That's a good reason.
Yeah, I can't say I'd rather be at men's nationals than Worlds, but it would be nice to go to both.
Missing a nationals for a Worlds is about the best excuse you can have.
Yeah,
Back four, wait,
not
guys.
wrong there.
So Team Brenden now throwing to the wing.
Straight.
Owen Nelson, the intern.
Yep.
2 center guards up for Hebert and that rock in the top 8s.
Curl.
Trying to spread these counters out.
Curl.
Don't mind the call. Probably would like that a little closer to the middle, and I'm sure they would have preferred it not quite as far out, but still get 2 counters.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit deeper just so that this hit and roll would be as behind the tee as possible. But with that further out distance, that makes the hit and roll even harder. So pretty good result.
Okay.
We'll have to see how Hebert can deal with that top 8 stone like you and I were talking about.
Yeah, good placement on that come around draw from Team Brenden lead Owen Nelson.
9. Yep.
Exactly what we talked about.
9. Yep. Hard.
Hard jack. Hard jack, hard roll.
A little bit of a roll into the 8-foot. You see those live bands again, hitting about 4/5 of that stone and rolling 3 feet.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a battle of the rolls here.
9-4.
Team Brenden rolling away, Team Hebert rolling in.
Miles Graybo,
How's weight? Clean. Yep.
out turn hit, trying to roll a little bit away, but stay on the paint.
Yep. Whoa.
There's that straight line we talked about too. We'll see if it spins back on.
Did you guys call time? I didn't. Okay,
Looks like that's all the way off. We've seen that exact shot missed that way so many times this week.
7.
Yeah, you combine those lively striking bands and the straighter side, that can be really tough to manage.
Benji Perrell, intern draw attempt.
Mine's good.
A Youth Olympic bronze medalist this year, along with Ella Windling.
Yeah, great finish for them. We love anytime somebody wearing USA gets on the podium.
Come on, Jack, keep going. Keep going, Jack. Nice shot. Okay, that's good.
Sweep that all the way down, ends up just next to the yellow stone. Perfect line to make the come around if it gets there, but not a bad position.
Yeah, that can be used later on, maybe to tap it or
Yeah, I can get them all.
hit that yellow.
It's not terrible. It's cross face.
Kind of just a tough stone for Team Brenden to deal with.
Be cross face. Yes, that's fine. That's super tough though. I think you can go board. All right. Okay. Is that true 10-5 on the last?
They are going to play board. Try to hit this and roll away. It's possible you make contact with your own stone and push it open if you hit this where you need to.
I think that's what they're trying. I think they want to kind of push it out to the side
Clean.
and kind of split up their rocks.
Yep. Yes, hard.
It took a late turn. Ends up wrecking the guard and bumping both stones.
11-3. Good weight.
Can we chase it with board ever?
I like hack. Try to get nose.
No. You're just trying for this.
11 then.
And that side just a little more curl than the other side too, Ben. That made all the difference on that shot.
I can get
And
to
it got
nose with
just
hack,
about to that
otherwise I
4-foot
just
line
play
and took
11
that
and roll.
turn. And that's the break point that we've seen, especially on that side.
Kind
Good
of.
shot. This
Threw it
rock, you have to
perfectly,
lead.
and if that exact same shot was on the other side of the sheet, it would have been made perfectly.
I like the
Yeah, it
hit.
can be tough as a thrower, you know, throwing on that one side, and
Sure.
maybe you miss it by just a little bit, and then you throw on the other side and you try to adjust, but all of a sudden it's a different ice path, curls a little bit differently. The same throw on one side isn't always going to give you the same result as the other.
Whoa.
Hard jack.
Hard jack.
Jack.
Trying to get this to turn over to stick around. It will clear the yellow stone. Feel pretty confident in that from watching the striking bands.
Good.
Maybe barely right. Maybe just still biting.
What?
Does the job, though, sitting 2.
I know you always take pride in your measurement predictions. How have you been this week so far?
I'm 2-1 this week. Had one that was extremely close. I went
assume that was
against
the
my
one
own
that-
initial instinct, which never do that.
Never do that, no.
Okay.
So that's on nobody but me.
Okay, let's make that.
Let's see if we can get you to 3-1 or 4-1 this game.
Yeah, we haven't had many measurements. I mean, I feel like in the men's and women's we had one just about every draw.
No, I don't think so either.
Connor Graybo,
Where?
intern draw for the lefty.
Top 4 is perfect. Gotta go long.
Really had a couple options for this shot. They could have tried to hit that stone in the top of the 8-foot of Hebert's, but with Hammer deciding they'd rather be first into the 4-foot.
Top 4. Oh, no.
Top 4.
Can't touch.
Top 4.
No.
And the problem with playing the draw again is right where that red stone is.
Shot.
It stops high enough that it
Sorry, you threw that second.
doesn't help a lot to play a slash in. So really good placement.
We bump it like a foot, it's not bad.
Yeah, we're seeing Team Brenden calling maybe a little bit more aggressively around center guards with Hammer.
It's just
Paid
5.
off in the first end,
Just a 5.
so we'll see if it pays off in this end.
Mine's good.
Outturn freeze attempt.
Mine's good.
Mine's good. Mine's good.
Jackson
Good,
Bestland.
easy.
Little room.
Whoa. Whoa. Curl.
It's really impressed watching Jackson playing with Team Wendling at the World Juniors this year.
Keep going.
Just freeze it on the corner.
Two of the members of this team were playing, him and Caden.
Yeah, great shot there. Good placement again. My father would call this Mickey Mouse, Ben. The mouse ears on either side of that stone. There's not much you can do with it as an opponent. You're going to have a run at it either way.
Can't believe I've never thought to call it that before, but totally going to use that from now on.
And my dad will be very happy about that.
Mine's nice. Feels touch up. Full 8. Top there. Feels a touch up. Mine's good. Mine's good. Top 4. Clean. Coming down.
Yeah, it's really only something that's effective when it's behind a guard. Because if it's in the open, then it's a pocket just to hit both stones. But when you can do it in this situation, you have total control of that area.
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse here, it's in this situation, it's great.
That's pretty good.
Got 2 ways at that yellow rock with it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and they're still both there, too.
Really bit, though, at the end. Or start there. Yeah.
Feel like you'd rather make
Yeah.
it with the right one if you can, but you can see a little bit less of it, so it's a little more difficult.
I mean, that's what we're hoping for.
But like you said, you can make it both ways.
Yeah, you can stick it with the one on the right, but the pro side with the one on the left is your rock that's mostly buried stays buried.
Yeah.
And they only have maybe a third of that stone. So even if the other one rolls off,
About 5.
you're still in a position where they can't really do much with your stone. So they both have pros.
Yeah, good results either way.
Careful early.
And you don't really even need to hit what you can see. You can thin this and make it.
I think we're gonna
So you
get
don't
there.
need to get too close to the guard. Just however thin you think you need to hit it thinner.
Just as hit
That's how these
where
work.
we can. We're just really
Yeah,
trying to
basically
get by the guard
contact
here.
with this rock makes the shot.
Yep.
Jack, get this one out of there. Way far away is better. Good board.
So outturn chip attempt from
Clean bench. Yep.
Caden Hebert.
Yep.
Playing it really soft.
Whoa. Curl.
Yeah, this one never by the guard. But I probably like playing a little more weight at that just to take the ice out of it, because it really doesn't matter what weight you make it with. You're not thinking about keeping your shooter around, so just simplify it, throw it on a straight line to make it, as opposed to finessing it.
Yeah, I agree. I also heard them talking about making sure their shooter rolled out as far as possible. So
Sure.
a little more weight kind of guarantees that result.
Right.
Something tells me that probably wasn't quite as much weight as he was trying to throw.
Right.
Maybe just a little bit light on the delivery.
Yeah, it's kind of counterintuitive to when you think about if you're trying to dig a rock out with hack or with any weight, what's the easiest one to make it with? Hack gets it to finish to make that shot, but when you're just playing to clear, it really doesn't matter. Playing it with, you're never hitting more of the stone with more or less weight. So you can just play whatever weight you want to make. You can make it with peel if you want to, as long as you thin it.
Throw the weight that you're going to make the shot with.
That's the one.
I'm thinking it's or you have played.
Still an interesting situation here for Team Brenden.
I feel like the
It's
only
not
shot
really
is
an
trying to drop
obvious
here.
call.
They make the freeze.
Or that, or just try and like catch. Top
Still
spot
almost
here.
have to try to deal with that Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I think you can just draw to the forefoot around it and play the outturned side and just throw it to the side of the button's a pretty good spot.
Do we like try
Yeah,
to
this
hang
late
off
in the
on
end,
or
just
something?
sitting two is a good result.
We want a full berry.
All right.
Yeah, I like the call here from Zach. They are playing this outturn draw.
It's pretty straight.
And this isn't one of those where it's, where's your tolerance? This is, we need to make it.
Typically see that more and more with skip shots.
Back
It's
four.
just,
I
you
mean,
need
really
to make
just
it.
fighting back
Yep.
four is pretty great.
Usually not really a pro side to it.
overbury.
Thinking 4-0, 4-5.
You like this?
Yeah.
Hit.
We do like it, Zach.
Make it good.
Outturn draw for Zach Brenden. He's trying to bury as much as he can, he said.
Wait, feels
It's
close.
always curl. It's all you guys. I think you can go.
Feels T-line. T.
Distance.
Back four.
Can't touch.
You really want to make sure you're still shot here, even if it's open.
Whoa.
Back four. Back four. Back four.
Yeah, line's a little less important with this shot, just
Sit.
trying to sit two.
Think we're two. And no, there's shot.
It may have gone just a hair too far, but very close.
Here we go, Ty. What do you think?
Yeah,
Here's
you
your
get
first chance.
Fooled by the overheads. I think that it's not going to matter. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I think it's not going to get to the point where it's a measurement.
Yeah.
If I plug it up, it's pretty good.
Getting accused of copping out from Rory in the booth here, and he's absolutely right.
Give you like edge.
Until they actually throw the sticks down, I don't need to stick my neck out.
You can double
Yeah, if I had to bet on,
if
if I had to bet, I'd probably say red. But most likely not. Never gonna find out.
100% sure
You hate that, don't you? When there's like an angle or something on the ice that like oh, if we hit this here, we can make a quad, and then somebody wrecks the guard, and it's like, oh wait, we'll never find out.
Never find out.
You almost want to set it back up just to see if it's there.
30, 25. Okay, 25.
But still outturn come around for a bear.
T-line, boys. Top four is acceptable.
Like to bury a piece here, so makes two difficult
Good ad, good ad.
for
Gotta go,
Brenden,
man.
and could get a
Little
soft
straight.
steal out of it
Straight,
too if you
straight.
make it good enough.
Hard, boys. Hard, bench.
Distance.
Whoa, take a look, bench. Yep, bench. Yep.
Line looks close.
Curl. Curl.
All about the weight
Hard,
now.
bench. Hard, you got it, bench. Keep going. Keep going, bench.
Hard. Go.
Keep going.
Go.
Does get shot rock. Really nice shot by Caden Hebert.
I
Right
had
to
it.
the side of the button. Right where Brenden was trying to go.
If we're not two. Well, it's still pick for one.
I mean, throw the pick.
Well, if you think that you're
Right? Maybe get two.
Let's try it. Let's get our dude.
third, you could play the slash on the red on the left,
Yeah. Let's try it.
which might be the easiest way to get two anyways.
Back eight weight. I almost like.
You can stuff it in.
I don't think it's that, or just try the straight pick.
Right here.
Yeah, either one's good.
Back 8, wait.
They said they're playing back 8.
I think we tap it and sit 2. Okay. Other options picked, but let's try to get our deuce.
Yep.
So they think they can get to enough of this
Just a touch more weight.
to sit 2. And I think, Ben, if it does go straight back to that red, as long as the shooter stays full 4, it is 2.
Yeah, I do think this shot is there. Try to hit about 2/3 of it, pretty much everything you can see with that back 8 weight. Your shooter should stick around in the 4-foot.
On the fact that he's playing this, I'm going to say that the red one's out counting the yellow one in the back.
Yeah, that's a safe bet.
Final stone, third end. Zach Brenden, finesse shot. Really have to get close to the guard in order to get 2.
Good. Curl. Curl. Whoa, straight. Whoa, curl.
And doesn't have enough weight to push it back.
Hard. Beauty.
Oh, that's close for 2.
I think he made it.
Looks good enough. It's at least 1. And
Yep,
they are
2
calling
yellow.
it 2. What a great shot by Zach Brenden. They get their 2 back in the third. Now lead 4-3 after 3 ends. In this third end break, Warm Room Hero. They're more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. Early look at the other matchups in this men's draw. Sheet A, Aiden Fitzgerald and Mason Gensel tied at 2 in the third. Nick Senzali with a 1-0 lead over Caden Rose in the third on Sheet B. On Sheet C, Ryan Church leads Matthew Lanoy 2-1 in the third. And again, our feature matchup, Zach Brenden leads Caden Hebert 4-3, the start of the fourth end. First stone in the top of the 12-foot. Team Hebert going right to the corner.
Line's really good. Easy.
Ben, our previous game for the women's draw, we saw 1 single scored in 9 ends and no blanks.
Clean. Clean.
We had, I believe, 19 points scored in the game.
Clean. Really good.
So we're not quite there starting out with this one, but not a pitcher's duel either.
Well, so far we're kind of on track for a similar game. Hammer efficiency is very high so far.
Owen Nelson playing the intern draw. Probably trying to move that stone.
Can't. Nice.
Yeah, based on the reaction, think they were playing the guard.
Yeah, just let it grind. Can't. I mean, if we're on this, we're not in. Well,
We're right up to it.
well, yep, get it to center. You're not in.
Step hard back, hard back, hard back.
Okay,
All good, Owen.
not terrible.
That is a tight guard
this
on a
way,
stone in the
right?
house. And touching the center line,
Gotta
so
be top 4
can't do
here.
anything with it.
Yeah, it does the trick. Can come around that still. But it does leave the chance for Team Hebert to come around this corner and be shot.
There's 6. Whoa.
6.
Come around, draw attempt on this corner guard.
Carve. Just start carving, JV. Carve. Carve.
Line looks really good.
Gotta go.
That'll bury nicely on that line. Perfectly done.
Very
Nice
well
pair
managed.
by Jack Wendland.
You like this?
It's a great team shot.
Now the
Using that
intern,
knifing technique.
yeah, well swept, well called, well thrown. Team Brenden going to the intern come around. You see that reverse handle throw from
Looks all
Miles
there.
Graybo.
Back four is great. Line's really good.
Maybe
Lots of
taking a
room.
little bit of inspiration
Lots of
from
room.
someone you
Curl,
used to play
boys.
with.
Curl. Head down.
Yeah, that intern a little bit. He
Head
started
down.
pretty
Get
close
it
to
over.
12.
Hard, yep. Hard on. As deep as you got. Yep.
one
And
of
the
those
guy
where-
that replaced me took some inspiration from that same guy maybe too.
Yeah.
My bad. That'll work.
It's one of those releases you're not quite sure if it's an in turn out turn until they let go. I feel like you see more and more curlers these days using that type of release. Maybe just keeps it a little bit simpler.
I like
Whatever
it.
gets you to where you need to go.
I like to think there's no wrong way really to
Like this?
deliver a curling rock, especially if you're making shots.
I think that's a good addendum. There's
like
no
11.
wrong way to make a shot. Throw it, I might raise an eyebrow at a few, especially if they're not getting results. But if you're making shots, yeah, there's no wrong way to do that. Intern soft weight hit.
Yep.
Benji Perrell.
Really down.
Yes.
Really down.
Hard. Whoa. Curl.
Looks like that's going to be on the guard, so
Roll,
trying
roll,
to
roll,
get something good out of it. Pushes that stone to the back of the 8-foot. Now just one center guard up.
12-5.
What?
Does roll to a corner, so
That or you peel that
I think
one.
that was the right way to
Like to hear.
miss that shot. Opens up the center a little bit more.
I like this. I like this one right now. 9-5? Yeah.
Trying to get rid of that corner guard, but also roll to the center.
Yep. Clean.
In
Whoa,
turn,
clean,
normal
yep.
weight
Yep.
hit and roll on the
Whoa,
corner.
whoa. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Bit of a
Yep.
kill two birds with one
Whoa.
stone type
Roll.
of shot.
Roll it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Beauty.
Well, that is
Really
really good. Great shot by Miles Graybo, and that's such a tough shot too. I mean, any hit and roll is, but with guards, it's just not a shot you play very often. Yeah, you can smile about that one, Miles.
That one deserves a smile.
Yeah.
Kind of see here. This. Looks pretty good. It's probably gonna like go right here though. At the best, it might stuff it right on. Kind of see it here.
Okay.
In-turn freeze attempt. Benji Perrell.
That's good. Hey, just 6. Yep, gotta go. 4.
Team Hebert trying to stay aggressive here and
Switch and go.
find a multiple point end.
Hard down.
Definitely
hard
could
jack.
consider
Hard
peeling
jack.
those guards and trying to open things up.
Distance, Jack. Gotta go. Gotta go, Jack. Come on. Keep going. Good sweep, boys. Just gotta throw the right way.
Pretty important to get that in the rings. That was a really good sweep.
We go back 4. Yeah, we got to overroll it.
Yeah, no, he got it.
Yeah.
we got. We're there.
Seeing this turn. 9-5.
So playing this in-turn hit and roll now. We're out turn for the southpaw again. Connor Graybo.
It's close.
Yep. Yep. 9. Yep. 9-5. Yep. Whoa. 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 Curl. 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 Ah. It's all right. Sorry.
Just a hair too thin. That'll roll all the way across and out.
I'd rather do that.
Still sitting 2. Not much way in right now for Team Hebert.
Yeah, now I wonder if this is the time to start clearing up those centers.
Whenever you shoot it.
Try to give yourself away an easier way to get rid of the yellows in the house.
You can also do this.
Tricky thing is, you'd love to play that
Not a
double
big fan of
peel
that.
What?
on that left
I don't
guard
like
yellow.
that.
Play it thin onto the
Okay,
closer to the
peel.
house one, but it
High
might
nose.
go onto your red. So, bit of a tricky angle
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
See what they can get out of this intern
Clean.
short run. Need to hit almost what you can see to get a good result.
Close.
Clean. Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Hard.
Hard. Hard.
Trying to
Jack,
get
do
by
it.
the
Hard.
guard.
Do it.
Just sneaks by
Really
and
good,
makes
bud.
that short run.
Great sweep, Jack.
Shot rock, so precise
Got a
there.
little down there. I didn't click
Yeah,
it,
that
but
was
it
a
felt
great
soft.
shot. That was pretty much an all or nothing shot.
Okay.
And even leaves the shooter there to cover it up.
You got weight?
No smile there from Jackson. All business.
Should be.
Got that poker face going.
Oh, feels close. Lots of
Connor
room.
Graybo, the intern draw.
Feels close. Where?
Top 8.
Line's close.
Top 4.
Where?
Top 4.
Okay.
Still a lot of rocks on the center that
Curl.
Team Brenden can use.
Top 4.
Curl.
Yeah, really good line here.
Whoa. Yep. Now. Yep. Now. Now. Hard. Yep. Good.
Finishes right to the back of the button.
Yeah, they weren't too concerned, I don't think, with being behind the tee line. A little more concerned with just getting as much buried as possible.
Yeah, without hammer, you're not nearly as concerned about that. If that was Hebert throwing that stone, they would want that above the tee for sure.
Yeah.
Just a hair high.
Do you like this way?
I like this one. I'm just going to hold you on the nose.
Okay.
Misses on that yellow.
Yep.
I like this call too. Gives you your best chance at getting a multiple point end. Can get all 3 of these moving. Hit it just in the right spot.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Real
Hard.
close.
Hard. Good. Yep.
Does spin it out far enough to get shot too.
Great shot.
Really good shot. Shot making going back and forth right now, Ben. These teams came to play tonight.
I chose a good game to commentate. This has been really entertaining.
This is safe right now, so I think we try this.
I think that extra rotation paid off for Team Hebert too, with that back yellow spinning is a little bit further.
405.
I got the gears turning just a little bit more.
I feel like that's a technique that we've seen Rachel Homan use most of her career, is throwing those peels with a lot of rotation to get more action off the rocks.
Yeah, we want to be full 4. They are 1, so.
All right.
You thinking here?
Yep.
What are we thinking time?
405, bro.
Okay.
So Brenden will play the out-turn draw.
That'll close.
Does have his own for backing.
It's close.
He's made a bunch of these soft out-turns already in this game.
Straight.
Hard straight, Owen. Slow down.
Straight.
This one looks like it's over curling.
Hard straight, Owen. Hard straight, Owen. Hard you got it, Owen. Hard you got it, Owen.
Really
They're
sweeping
holding it,
hold the
though.
line. That's a great sweep there.
Yep, back a hair.
And good enough to get shot rock too. So big sweep there from the front end.
Who's going to miss a shot first?
Proud walk of young men that knew they did their job well there.
As a career front ender, I know that feeling very well.
Yeah, you're welcome for that made shot. That's the feeling.
The other run's just as easy.
Like 9.
Firm.
It's just a hair high, right?
Yeah, hair high.
With a good skip, there's a reward for that after the game of some kind, too, when they remember those.
Yeah, we don't do this for free.
It's hair high. Hair high. You want to keep that shooter as
So run back here could sit 3 if made well. Biter on the top of the 12-foot.
Yep. Good firm, boys.
So you could follow if you're Hebert and try to make sure you score. Try to score with your last 2, but he's electing to play this run back and play for the big ends. At worst, open it up. His first here in the 4th.
Yes! Hard! Hard, 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 all the way, hard.
One over curls a little bit. Does open up the rocks in the 4-foot.
Right here.
405?
You like coming in here, Ty?
It's hard to put a
No,
guard
it's not,
down that takes
but
away
It's more in.
the tap on
So
either
still
side,
good shot.
so
I'd say broom down, though.
I don't mind this.
Broom down for clean. 405.
Yeah,
If you're half buried and touching the 4-foot, it's a good
Broom down
result.
for a clean here.
Yeah, I think I like this. Even if you're like full 8, you know, takes away the 3. Obviously 2, you want to avoid the 2, but really anywhere at least half buried in the house, at least full 12 takes away more than 2.
It's such a tough placement for a guard to take those away, so I think I like the call.
Not much add.
So Zach Brenden trying to get to the top of the 4-foot here.
Sweepers jump this one right away, thinking it's a little bit light.
Now the line looks good. It's all on the weight.
Bend it.
Now curling. Just need to get a piece underneath. Looks like it will. That's close.
I think that does the trick.
It's definitely a teaser.
I mean, you just
If you
need to
play
mark this
hack
one.
weight, you can probably get them both moving enough to get 2, but maybe board. But got just enough underneath to make it questionable.
If I'm just here, it's not the word. I think
Yeah, with this, they're playing the slightly curlier side, so
You like hack?
can get to more of that rock with that hack or board weight, like you said.
Like a solid 13.
We'll see if what they decide to play here.
I feel like the risks are the same. Reward is getting 2.
Yeah.
I like hack.
Yeah.
So they will
like
play
that.
hack. And Ben, I think nose is enough to get 1. It's close with that back one, but
Yeah.
I think if you roll a little bit, it should be 1.
Hack.
Yeah, I was going to say just a hair of a roll to the right, I think, does it, but nose is also close.
Yeah, there may be a spot somewhere where you can hit it just off nose, miss the back one, and not be shot rock. So there, if nose isn't enough, nose will be enough to get the
Back to where we were.
to move both to get 2. But there may be a spot between the shot for 2 and the shot for 1 where you don't score. The final stone, 4th end. Caden Hebert playing hack weight.
Yep.
Needs to get tight to the
Close. Whoa.
guard to
Whoa.
make this for 2.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
This is curling halfway down,
Hard to it. Oh.
and that's going to wreck the guard. So that looks to be a steal of 2 for
2.
Team Brenden. And that 2 puts them up 6-3 after 4 ends of play. All 2s and 3s so far in this feature matchup. But our first steal of the game with Zach Brenden stealing 2. Two very nice draws on his last 2 shots. They lead 6-3. Now in the 5th end, Team Hebert with hammer.
For Team Hebert, I'm sure that's, it's always discouraging to give up a steal of 2, but all you have to do is look at the scoreboard to realize that coming back from a 3-point deficit is definitely not out of the picture.
2.5.
A lot of game left here, 6 ends to play.
Just to your broom.
Your goal here is to get 2.
Short of it. Just short of your broom.
Anything more than that's a bonus, but 2 gets you right back in the game.
Good.
Right.
Roy. Yeah, get that guard up. Yeah, all good.
Familiar start to last end, except that rock a little bit deeper in the house. Owen Nelson trying to guard his own stone.
Lots of room. Lots of room right now. 2-3. It's always curl.
That delivery been a little bit reminiscent of another lead in the men's game, Carrick Martin.
Gotta bend it back.
Oh, yeah, I can see it.
I was trying to figure that out. For a couple games we had it, but that little reverse foot action with the knee going forward.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just popping those.
I always love finding a curler like that, like a top-level curler that most closely resembles either yourself or somebody else, because it can be really beneficial to just watch them. Or even if you can reach out to them and be like, hey, like, how do you practice? Like, what techniques do you use? Because most often those will work for you.
Sure. Do you have somebody like that for yourself?
You know, I have been told that I have a similar slide to Brad Gushu. Who's a little higher up. I don't get very low in my slide.
I can see that.
I'd say either him or E.J. Harnden. He's also a little bit higher up.
Top 4.
What about yourself?
I don't know that anybody would want to repeat what I do. Yeah, I've never really thought about it, I guess. I don't have anybody that I thought kind of mirrored my own.
I'll have to think about that. I'm sure there's someone out there that's close.
Okay, yep, hard. Hard. Yep.
You can see with the release itself, and he gets a little lower than I do. We both get kind of low, and our setups are nowhere near the same. But a little bit of mirrored Mark Kennedy.
Yeah. Definitely similar level of depth in the slide for sure.
Yeah, he doesn't throw a ton of rotation on his rock either. He's more a touch thrower on the release.
Mm-hmm. You definitely don't do that weird foot thing that he does in the hack,
I do not do that.
He looks a little spidery when he throws.
It's fun to watch, but that's another one that it'd be difficult to teach.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd ever tell somebody to do that. But if you're making shots like Mark Kennedy,
oh yeah, you never argue with that.
Keep curling.
Freeze attempt here for Team Hebert to that rock in the top of the 8-foot.
Look at the bench.
It's a good shot.
They're not using the corner no more. All right.
Another full house in the stands for this evening draw. I can tell you, Ben, I got here about 40 minutes before game time to eat before I came in. No spots in the parking lot. Had to park on the road.
Yeah, I had to get creative myself when I came here. I think I parked somewhere. It was not a parking spot that was meant to be a parking spot, but I made it work.
You gotta let it grind then.
See if this one stops for shot.
3-2.
So sitting 2,
My bad.
back 8s and top 8s.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not bad. We talked about how team without hammer doesn't care too much about slipping behind the tee line, and especially with them sitting 2, it's a good result.
I'm seeing this.
Yeah, I don't mind that shot right now, just to get rid of that yellow while you can, if you have enough of it that you feel comfortable playing it. Just because you're going to have to do that at some point if you want to make that top red count. Your shooter is going to roll open and will be an open hit, but you have your rock buried above the tee line under a guard, and you can still get to your 3 that way.
Yeah, I agree. You're going to have to deal with these 2 yellows at some point, so if you feel like this is your best opportunity, then by all means.
Whoa, whoa, straights, straights, curl, whoa.
So it's really close.
Whoa, really big, really hard.
Rolls away enough. There's no double. Really good shot. Well done by Peril.
Yeah, and that red is perfectly buried behind the yellow guard.
And now you have your 3 in play. You really only need a half miss anywhere to set up 3. And definitely looking at 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, certainly your 2 is looking good here. But 3 is not out of the picture.
I gotta roll. Nope. Okay. All good. Okay.
So they're going to go after the roll underneath now, too.
10?
Yeah.
The only downside with playing this roll is you're kind of stacking your rocks up, but they kind of, even if they don't make the run, they're still right in front of each other, so you kind of have to re-guard your own 2. It's kind of hard to maintain it when they're bunched up like that.
Yeah, and with that yellow in the back 8 foot, that could be a jam rock potentially if this roll is made.
Yeah, I think I would like it more on the next shot when your opponent only has 2 stones remaining. So if they miss the run 1 time, now you're looking at getting 3 for sure. And instead, they'd get 3 cracks. And I think this might not be a bad time to play that run too, but you are shot rock, so you can come around, be more aggressive.
Yeah, nothing wrong with this call. I don't disagree with the run either. I think it would be a bit of a scoreboard call, with a 3-point lead, even if you peel the guard.
I think your co-commentator here forgot that they weren't shot rock underneath that guard, so I like the draw. Just staggers the guard underneath. Team Hebert looking to go underneath those guards, leaving that back rock alone for the time being.
Yeah, I think I like this call. Drawing on top of that back yellow one. You don't have to remove it. There's a good chance that maybe somewhere down the road it's just going to be removed naturally by trying to hit this red one.
Distance.
Bench fully.
Need to go for weight, trying to carry it on this line. Ends up just short of shot, so yellow still shot rock.
Oh, you want to freeze? Oh.
Seeing both teams coming up a little bit light, I'm just curious, have you seen the speed of the ice come down significantly at all later in the game?
In our previous draw was the only time we saw the players struggle with the ice at some point during the game when they were fine early. And it was right about this point. It was the 5th end going down, same sheet where all of a sudden there were 5 guards up top. Everybody was coming up short. Seemed like it may have evened out in the second half of the game again. But we weren't sure if it was operator error or if it was something with the ice. You see enough misses short, then eventually you start to take notice and think, okay, maybe there is something to this.
Yeah, once it happens enough time, you start to think, maybe I'm not actually missing this light.
We'll get a little rock clock on this and see exactly where we're at right now. We were hearing low 15s early in the game.
Heels up. Can't. I got 405. Back 8. Felt close. Weight's good.
Sweepers like it.
Back 4, back 8. Back 8. Girl, stay close, Owen.
15. May have been a little delay on the click on the clock. It doesn't end up bad, still sitting 2.
High 95.
All right, so we had a third of a second delay, we're being told here in the booth. So we're probably close to 14.6, 14.7 on that one, which would jive with what we've seen.
Still good speed for sure.
I mean, come down to whatever they throw.
So probably playing for Skip's deuce now. You could play the split on that rock in the top of the 8-foot. Push that under cover for shot and roll away.
I'd be a little nervous if the shooter stays above the one that you're splitting. You might just leave a fairly makeable double.
In-turn draw. Trying to come around.
Easy room. Line's pretty good.
If this goes behind the tee, then Brenden will have the same shot to follow, too.
Got a curl.
Line's pretty good again.
Curl.
9.
Trying to finish now.
Hard.
Pretty good spot.
I just gave myself too much.
Yeah, good result. Doesn't leave that freeze. Could freeze it and try to make it difficult for Caden to draw in for 2, but he still does have the out turn. So I think I like this call, trying to just pick it.
I like it as long as he's comfortable throwing it. If it looks good for him, it's absolutely the correct shot. The freeze is the one that you can make really good and still not be good enough. And they may still have the out turn draw on the opposite side through that stagger for 2, even if you make the freeze. If this rock is gone, 2 is out of the picture.
Yeah, I think if you have a chance to play a shot where you guarantee yourself a force, you want to play that one.
Yeah, I like the call. So Zach Brenden just trying to pick this stone out. Maybe a little positive on the release there.
Oh, no.
Really got to bring it. How'd you got it?
I said it.
Yeah, he says it himself, too. Just a little positive on that release. That rock was going outward out of his hand.
Same room.
So maybe a Skip's deuce here.
Did you guys click 4-2 there? Yeah. Okay. You can't bounce too far off it to the right, but just T-line. Put in the 4-foot.
Like that they're
Hebert.
talking about that, though. You're talking about what he did.
That was 4-2.
Good information for future ends.
Yeah, it did look like
All right, same thing, boys.
max broom to start with, too, to make that shot if you're throwing that weight. So final stone of the first half of the game. Caden Hebert needs to follow right where he did on his first.
Whoa. Back.
Whoa.
Hasn't started curling yet. Generally, we've seen curl just before the hog line when the weight's good, so
No back
this
here.
is still gliding. May have a chance here. It just settles in enough.
2 red.
And is 2 for Hebert. So no singles, no blanks first half of this game. 6-5. The lead for Brenden. And halfway through, it's time for the Broomfitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit broomfitters.com.
Go, Jack.
Good weight.
Wild first half. Now a 6-5 game after the break at the start of the 6th end here. Tyler George with Ben Richardson in the booth. Ben singles need not apply on the scoreboard. So we've got all 2s and 1 3 for this 6-5 game.
Yeah, Deuce is wild so far in this game.
Sweepers
Get it off that line.
pounding this one.
Yep.
Get to the corner. John Landsteiner, it's always faster after the break, but these guys having no problem with that. 2 rocks up short of the house to start.
Both teams playing pretty aggressively this game. I think scoreboard is a direct result of that. Makes for very entertaining curling.
Out-turn come-around draw from Jack Wentland. Nice pair there from Jack. He's had a solid game.
It's top it. Don't top it. Don't top it.
Very aggressive play too, Ben, starting this 6th end off after that center guard was thrown to go corner guard. Because you know that your opponent's going to the center again on their next shot.
Where?
Yeah, I mean, I
Top 4.
Line's fine.
feel like a lot of teams might throw open side
Lots of room.
in the house somewhere, try to maybe keep the blank in play, but
Straight.
they feel comfortable with that aggressive play. I mean, so far it's worked out pretty well for them.
Straight.
Hard gotta go. Hard gotta go. Hard you got it. Hard you got it. Hard you got it. Hard you got it.
Get.
All good.
Very good.
That just ticks that red stone over and sits in the side of the 4-foot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just touch it.
I like 11. Yeah.
Would you ever ignore that rock and throw up another center in this situation?
It would be an option, 'cause it's not on the center line, so it should be accessible for you. If you're playing harder for the steal, that second center is going to be very valuable for you. Then you make your opponent have to decide too, can we leave those 2 centers up, or do we come in?
Yep. Really good, bud.
Really nice roll made, but
Great weight.
now you may see the immediate peel here from Brenden, and that is the issue with playing that shot. Even making the roll, your opponent gets the chance to play the short run.
Yeah, with that guard being a little tighter, this run is a little bit easier.
Yep.
Miles Graybo playing that run back,
Yep. Yep.
seeing if he can get a few stones moving.
Yep. Whoa, I don't know. Okay, that's fine.
That's a good result.
Yeah, great
Opens
shot.
that stone up and clears 2.
2.
You were just hoping to get rid of one red in the house and roll your shooter off. So both of those accomplished.
Three.
That's pretty good.
Tight.
Trying to replace the guard,
Pretty tight.
Tight 3.
Benji Perrell.
He's slipping in.
Okay, Jack.
Pretty
Just out. Just out.
Carve Jack. Carve Jack.
tight.
Carve Jack.
Just 3.
Carve Jack. Whoa. Clean. Racket in here. Whoa. That's pretty good. I was going to overhook it if we were way here, but not bad.
Does the job.
Not bad.
It's a 3 tight center. It's as though
Okay.
Team Brenden will have another crack at the run.
Okay.
And Ben, always good when you can make one of these early in the end, or as early as possible. So then you can focus on
Well,
trying to find your 2. They can still play for blank too, but the earlier you make it, the less you have to worry about chasing.
yep. Come on. Ah.
Oh, just papers by. Saw the shadow of the rock there.
Good toss.
Yeah, as a second myself, I always I'm a little extra motivated to make those shots earlier in the end, and then I feel a little bit bad if Luke has to make up the damage for me. But not a bad guy to have throwing those run backs and those peels.
Yeah, you like to think somewhere along the line somebody makes one of those and you keep your skip from having to make it. But the nice thing is if Luke doesn't, then he gets blamed by Danny. You barely remember that you had him earlier in the end.
Yep, just keeps on going down the line.
Hard over.
Really hammering this one to try to get it over the hog line. Oof, that's a big scrub to get that over.
Up there when they're desperate.
What were you saying about Owen, your sweeper or something after the game?
Probably a Coke or something for these guys. So with that guard that high, you can definitely still get to it, especially from this right side hack for the southpaw.
Yeah, you can see a little bit more coming from that hack.
Yep. 11-5. Go. Curl. 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 Holy. 10-9-8.
A lot of weight for that shot from what they were looking for. Does move it out of the 4-foot to the back 12. But a good chance now to go underneath, Ben.
Yeah, I think they had the close to the line they wanted. It was just a little, with that extra weight, didn't quite get the curl they wanted.
Not a lot to add.
How high? Okay, straights. Whoa.
So big out-turn come around.
Curl.
Try to take control of this end, but really hanging on that line. Pops the corner guard into the rings. So the end flips on its head immediately with that tap in.
9-5.
Like this. Give us
Normal.
And I think if you're Team Hebert, you're probably going hard at the steal with your last two with this setup now.
Yeah, they'll still have their chances. They have that right yellow they can hit and roll off of. But at this point, with 4 center guards, I think you're right, going hard for that steal.
Yep. Get. Good sweep.
Rolls all the way underneath the guard, too.
Could decide to just draw here, I guess, with that intern side.
Sure. There's no point giving up our stupid 3.
Like this way.
Looks like they're going to play the hit and roll.
Which way do you like?
Seeing this way.
Yeah, the intern draw is definitely there.
There?
Could even carry it back to that stone in the back 8s if you need to. But playing the hit and roll instead. You heard they wanted to stay away from giving up a 3.
Just hit and roll to the center.
Yeah, I'm not against that mindset, but at the same time, you're down 1 without, so I don't mind playing a little bit more aggressively.
I might get the double, but I definitely would be more than that.
But it's really just whatever you feel like you're going to make.
Good 10.
So intern hit and roll. Caden Hebert.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Be a big swing on this shot as well if they're able to get the roll.
Curl. Hard curl. Hard.
Maybe the long double instead. Just goes over the top.
Barry, or do we like take these?
Half buried.
We're gonna be outside.
Even if we can full bury it, that's good too.
4-0.
It's such a
We're gonna be out here.
Yeah.
We want to be top house.
Is it tap easy?
Chance here for
I kind of see 4-5.
Zach to really apply some pressure.
Okay. Yeah.
Sit a couple rocks behind that wall of guards.
I like this shot. You're daring your opponent to play a tap or a come around against a 3. And even if they make theirs, as long as you have your 2 counters in, you're always going to have that slash in for 3 with risk reward being get 3 to go up 4 or give up a steal, and you're still tied up with hammer. So well worth it. I like this call a lot.
Don't kill it.
Yeah, I think key with this shot is just as much as possible try not to be behind the tee line and give Team Hebert an out.
Really been impressed with both skips and their game calling,
Gotta go.
managing these ends.
Touch rings here, Owen.
Team Brenden seems to know when to throw these draws. And Ben, you mentioned from playing them before that
Hard you got, Owen.
they play these soft weight shots so well. Unfortunately, this one looks like it may not get to the paint.
It might
Boy,
just
they
get
are
into the
really
12
carrying
foot.
that.
Oh,
That
what a
went
great sweep.
forever on that line. My apologies, gentlemen.
And you hate this way?
I like
Shot
Ends up
back
an
here.
actually really good shot, too.
That one's way out there.
Yeah, going back to what you were saying, I feel like when I was playing juniors, especially like at this age, you know, they're what, 15, 16, 17 years old.
That's the tee line.
A lot of teams are just throwing hits.
Yep.
Just throwing those high, hard ones all the time. But I feel like both of these teams tend to err towards those lighter, more controllable shots, which is just really, really fun to see. Just such a great, just a sign of maturity.
20? You like 20?
So big draw here for Caden Hebert. Plenty of room to get shot rock. Even going wide around this red guard. Just need to get to full 8 foot.
Tee line, put it full 8 if we can.
You really liked it regardless of how deep it goes. You want to be shot rock here and buried. At least then you're making your opponent play probably that angle run, but against a steal.
Yeah, you can even afford to maybe show just a little piece, kind of tempt them into the chase.
Straight.
Whoa.
There's some jam rocks in the back 8 foot.
Line's good.
Line's great.
Line's good.
Stay close, bench.
Close finish.
Easy.
14-7. Whoa.
It does need to finish a
Just
little
bring
bit.
it here, curl.
Heard them say
curl.
14-7, so it should be pretty close.
Hard,
Curl.
hard,
Hard
curl,
jack.
hard, hard, hard,
Hard
hard,
jack,
hard,
gotta
hard,
go.
hard, hard.
That's
yes.
well done. Nice shot.
Good sweep, boys.
There you see
Yeah, right away.
Brenden immediately calling the run. Love that.
The outside one? I was seeing the inside one.
Inside yellow.
Like you said, there's really zero risk with this
I
shot.
don't think we're messing with it.
Obviously, you'd like to prevent a steal, but you're still tied with.
So you like the
Really
outside one?
not the end of the world.
Okay.
And the reward is amazing.
Of this one. Okay. All right. Okay. I like it. Unless you want to just take one here.
Good job by those two sweepers again, too.
Let's throw it. Let's
Been impressed not only with just the power of their sweeping, but the judgment of the rocks. They're sweeping at the right times. They're communicating where the rock is going. To me, that's almost more important than the effectiveness of the sweeping.
Right. Hearing 9-5 here, too. I like the weights. You want to stick around with this, too. The harder you throw it, the less chance you have of the raised rock staying in. But it's enough weight with how live the bands are that you should be able to clear that stone no problem, too.
Yeah, again, the weight control from both of these teams, the weight that they're calling has been really impressive. Not overthrowing it, throwing the weight that they can manage.
Final stone here in the 6th. Big run back attempt for Zach Brenden. This is for 3 if he can make it. Oh, a little thought they might get the redirect there off the rock of the top 12s. Just over curls, and that big draw by Caden Hebert gets the steal. We're all tied up, 6-6 after 6.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
Looking around at the other scores this evening, Aiden Fitzgerald and Mason Gensel tied at 4 in the 7th on sheet A. Nick Senzali with a 3-1 lead on Caden Rose on sheet B. That's in the 6th end. On sheet C, 7th end to play, Ryan Church leads 5-3 over Matthew Lanoy. And our feature matchup all knotted up at 6 in the 7th end, Caden Hebert and Zach Brenden. Ben back and forth battle. Just small mistakes making a big difference. And that great draw by Caden Hebert sets up the steal as the run back attempt by Brenden just over curls a little bit.
Yeah, great shot making all around. This has been a really fun game to watch.
That's fine.
Small mistakes for sure, but for Zach in that last, just missing it, just by an inch, really close to making it.
Yeah, T.
Get the feeling that even 10 might not be enough for this one the way it's going.
Would not be surprised.
Curl. Hard.
Who knows, could go to a 12th end.
Just keep going, JB. You're really moving it. You're really moving it. Keep going.
Well, hopefully not the 23 ends that we saw on the curling zone scoreboard earlier. Could be a very late evening for all of us. I know it's past our bedtime then.
Just freezing on it? Okay.
So draw to top 4s after the center guard by Jack Wendland. I see that Karik Martin delivery more and more now watching him throw.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that.
Going down. Got a curl. Back forward. Got a curl. Starting to grab.
Okay, yep, starting to go.
So Owen Nelson playing this intern come around, looking to tap that stone.
Straight. Whoa. Good.
Like it, Owen.
And that's one Ben in this situation.
Really good.
He makes that very well, but you might think about playing the hit on that red stone instead because it's open and playing your 0 or 2 here in the 7th with the hammer. So not necessarily playing blank, but keeping blank in the picture so you can decide one way or the other as the end goes. And playing the draw under, more and more unlikely that you're going to have that option later in the end, and you're bunching stones in the 4-foot without the hammer as well.
Yeah, once again seeing the slightly more aggressive call, and you're right, it limits your options maybe slightly, but they may have chances later in the end with it being so early that blank could still come into play, especially with the ability of both of these teams to throw that high hard one accurately.
And just chips and rolls open.
Okay. Throw something in the pocket or? Okay.
10-5.
Okay. 10-5.
Bit of a pocket, but if this hit and roll is made, there's going to be one lonely red in there. Pretty good situation for Team Brenden.
Clean. Close, yep. Yep. Whoa, 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 yep. Really good. Peach.
Hits and rolls to a freeze. Brenden now in control of the end.
That red is shaking in its boots right now.
4, this is okay. 5 is okay here.
Kind of forces Team Hebert to play a little more aggressively.
Now, the good thing for Hebert is they're still piling rocks in the 4-foot around a guard.
Yep.
So it's playing to the location on the sheet that they want to.
Maybe not as many rocks of their color as they'd like in the rings, but you're right, situationally
it is definitely getting lonely, yes.
Just do it.
Straights.
Just do it.
Whoa. Curl. Curl and go.
This is coming in really nicely for Benji.
Gotta go. Gotta go, Jack. All the way. Gotta go, gotta go. Okay, good.
Yeah, pretty good spot.
Can we get the out turn?
What turn do you want?
Here we go.
Zach immediately calling the peel.
7-5.
Firm. Zach.
You like this shot, or is there anything else you can see?
No, I think this is good. You're still early enough in the end. You can put an end together by opening this up.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Shoot. Get over. Get over.
Pop this one a little bit. Skates by, picks his own out. That changes things a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like national level ice, it's so unforgiving with any outward motion, especially with peel weight, just never comes back. Forces you to have a nice, clean, pure release.
Line's good. Easy.
Line's good.
Easy.
Line's good. Curl.
Whoa. Whoa.
Curl.
So now that guard is not really guarding for your life. You have shot rock and third count. So pretty safe to play the guard at that point.
Right here. 7-5.
You know, they say there's a commentator's curse, but I wonder if there's the opposite. I feel like you could get all 4 reds going with this peel if it's made correctly.
Clean. Yep.
Would love to just speak that into existence, you know.
Yep.
Let's see if we find out
Might
here.
make it the other way, though.
Beauty.
Does make the double peel. That's a good shot.
Yeah, great shot.
Really good. Just crank.
It gets more on our, I think it's almost straight on our red.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the guard again.
I just don't want to leave him this nose.
Yeah.
You can show half of the red on the center line, because that slash would always be going into the yellow.
Same kick.
Yeah, and also partially guards that yellow in the top 4 foot that Team Brenden could use later in the end.
A little less bad.
See?
Mine's little room.
Curl. Curl. Curl, carve. Just gotta go. Clean. 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 Whoa.
Finishes up right to the center line.
Just peel. You like the peel? I like it.
It's going to be interesting to see when a team makes a move here. Could see really either team deciding to maybe switch around the angles in the house. There's really nothing favoring either one.
Good. Good pair.
Maybe Team Hebert.
Good pair.
Yeah, the difficult part is whichever team makes the first move, the other team gets to react based on where the rocks end up. But if you're Hebert, you can't not do something until the last shot, because there may just be a tap for 2 depending on if the shooter out counts another red, or a nose double if that's open. So I think just another guard now
Dead on the red again?
for Hebert.
Dead on the red.
Yeah, I think Hebert is happy to keep guarding.
Okay.
I feel like Team Brenden might be a little bit more pressed to make some kind of a move in there.
40. Okay. Good 2-guard.
They again really need to cover a piece of that red stone that's on the center line, not leave that nose double.
Yeah, that's the most important thing you want to take away here.
Good ad.
Line good.
That's great. Line's good. Easy,
Little
Jack.
room. Line.
So we'll finish up here. I don't think they need to sweep this much.
Easy.
Clean. Whoa.
Easy.
Oh.
Does guard the one on the center line.
The yellow is fully accessible though, so you can make a move move on that one now. It's just a question of where you want your shooter to go.
And they're still looking at peeling. I think you're pretty happy with this if you're a Bear.
Just straight rip? Just rip.
Don't think you can hit that yellow and be sitting 2, can you?
No, I
don't
think
so.
it's shot with where that red is located. So that's the problem for Team Brenden right now. If they could just hit that and sit 2, even if it was dead on the nose, I think they would. So just peeling. I think it wouldn't have been a terrible idea to take a run at the double, though. With running that stone back and trying to catch it over the top. Miss the other 2 and roll off, so that all that's left in the house would have been the 2 yellows and the red that yellow's frozen on. And this would be gone, too.
Yeah, certainly would be the best result.
Guard the same, do the same thing.
I mean, he has to be able to get to the nose, right?
He has to get to the nose of this one. So like,
I think I like the guard again here.
Yeah, I think so. The only other shot would be out-turn draw to the side of the forefoot.
I mean, I can just give you like
Sit 2.
I feel like it's one of those situations where you almost just don't want to touch anything in the house. You don't want to potentially give Team Brenden any type of shot for more than 1. Just leave that alone, and as long as you guard that double, then I don't think they have anything for more than 1.
Be a good bit over the center line, but not too much. Trying to just make him think about hitting the yellow, but also we can't give him the red. So basically the same spot.
So trying to stagger this a little bit, maybe take away some of the yellow. Final stone of the 7th for Caden Hebert. Throwing this in-turn guard again, same shot as last time.
easy
Benz,
then.
you're gonna have to go.
Just
You're gonna have to carve.
gotta curl a little.
Carve.
Curl.
Carve.
Hard.
Gotta go, bench.
Hard bench.
You've gotta go.
Hard.
I think this may end up ideal as long as it curls another
Hard bench.
Gotta
few
keep going.
inches.
Hard. Whoa.
Gotta keep going.
Yeah, that's really good. Could be a slash to get all 3 reds. But you also can just hit what you can see the yellow for 1. You can draw the side of the forefoot for 1.
Yeah, another one of those situations where you have to consider whether or not risk versus reward. Risk is you give up a steal of 1, but reward, there is a shot for a 3 as it stands.
You think the shooter goes in the rings if you play that?
Yeah, I guess with peel weight probably rolls out.
I think it's just for 2 still, so there's not a ton of reward.
Like that, but
In that case, I might lean more towards just trying to get your 1. But I mean, it's still a draw to the button.
I mean, I do.
Or I guess you can play it, yeah. You can play this.
Just
Just make contact with the yellow and get your 1. I think I like this shot.
Yeah, and they still have that draw, too, if they prefer it.
Is it even there, though?
Can't give up 2.
Certainly looking at every option here.
But does it hit our yellow? I think that clips our yellow. What do you think?
I don't think you can hurt yourself playing it unless you just flare that red on the outside and chip it into the forefoot. I wouldn't be worried about losing my own yellow.
I think you need the
No.
you need the bomb.
Yeah, you'd have to get really unlucky
I
to
like 7-5.
give up more than 1 here.
It's actually angled really well to make it.
I like it. I think we need 7-5.
7-5.
If you're not concerned about being down 1, and really the 2 shots you have for 1 aren't gimmies. So if you feel like the percentage chance of making it isn't that different, play the 1 for 2. So maybe 2/3 of a stone, close to that. Final rock for Zach Brenden. Trying to get all 3 of these reds going. And just flared it a little bit again on that line and ends up being a steal of 1 for Hebert. They lead 7-6 after 7. And USA Curling would like to take this moment to thank the curling community for supporting the sport and the national organization, whether it's through your membership, donations, or volunteer hours that help our game grow. Your support makes many of our efforts possible, whether it's the webcast coverage you're enjoying right now, the Our House content platform, certification programs for instructors and officials, or the Athlete Outreach Initiative. On behalf of USA Curling, thank you for all that you do. So 7-6, Caden Hebert, 2 consecutive steals now, leading Zach Brenden. Start of the 8th end. Center guard thrown up by Team Hebert. Jack Wentland splits the center line with that one.
Just even. Just even.
Weight's good.
Looks all there to me.
Weight's good.
It's gonna have to curl.
Weight's good though. Touch pads. Just a touch.
It's really got to curl.
Brenden going to corner.
Be deep. Good off. Good off.
Okay.
Oh, good one.
We gotta go this way.
Yeah.
Top
Should see
4.
some rocks in
Okay.
play this end with this start too.
Line's good.
6.
Just 6. Lot of room. Room.
6.
Carve. 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 Just
In-turn comer out attempt, trying to get it to finish up.
Got it, girl. Keep going, JB. Full 4 is better. Keep going. Keep going. Pretty good, boys. Good, Jack. Not bad.
Yeah.
Couple options here. That draw around the corner, not the easiest shot with it being a little closer to the center. I think that's what they ideally would like to play, but electing to play the freeze on the red, which not a bad option either.
Line's good.
Weight's close. Gotta go. Stop some.
Where?
Take a look.
Looks pretty good. Line's nice.
Weight needs
Hard
it.
then, yep. Whoa, whoa,
Weight's
whoa,
good.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Bump and then touch.
Okay,
That's on us, Owen.
good throw.
Taps it, but he keeps the angle
Okay, too.
in a really good spot.
Okay.
It's tough for Team Hebert to
It's like full
hit
12.
that and avoid the jam.
4 or 5. Yeah, 25.
Team's jockeying for position now with these
Take it.
draws to the 4
Okay,
foot.
go ahead.
Ben, it's kind of gone Hebert's way when they've been playing into the center now too with these steals.
Yep, gotta go. Just distance.
Yeah, it's certainly been
Distance. Line's great.
swinging towards, the momentum has swung towards Team
Curl,
Hebert in the
curl,
last couple
hard,
ends, but as you and I
hard, hook it, hard.
talked
Really
about in
good.
the break, Zach has had a couple of shots to get that big score. You can't keep leaving him a shot like that. He's gonna make one.
Where?
Go close.
close. Okay, then, yep. Yep. Where? Hard then, yep. Line's nice. Straight always. Yep, hard Owen, head down. Yep. Looks close. Whoa.
Miles Graybo lobbing this one down for a freeze.
Yep.
Angle's definitely
Really
playing
good.
in favor of Team Brenden now with that stone.
Got a bit of a freeze clinic going on here. Both teams making all of their freezes pretty much perfectly.
You almost think it may come down to another angle run with how these are setting up already. That corner guard.
Just top 4.
See how prophetic we can be with 10 shots left in the end. Benji Peril following down on that same outturned path.
Line's good.
8. 7.
Clean.
Come down a little.
Clean.
6.
Whoa.
Come down the line.
Yep, then. Jack. Jack's right.
Coming
Just
down.
6, boys.
Whoa.
Pretty good.
Bumping.
Easy.
Bumping.
Easy, grind. Just grind. It's pretty good.
And that'll be locked on. Really well played.
So far, it's who will blink first, which has been the case in a lot of this game. It's just been such great shot making, great rock placement from both teams.
Hey, you look at those freezes, that's 3 stones locked on. Miles Graybo with
Clean.
his second.
Yep. Clean. Yep.
Looking to move these rocks around a little bit
Yep.
now.
Yep. Hard. Yep.
Should be by the guard.
Penny roll, Owen. Penny roll. Keep roll. Roll it. Good.
Now a 4 rock stack in that line.
Oh, that's a wicked line.
At this point, if you're Team Hebert, you have to call another freeze, right? Just
Keep
let's
lining
see if
them
we can
up.
get 5.
And the shot making quality right now for both teams very high.
We got to get all the way here. We
Okay.
can't give him this.
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
I think you could technically hit and roll on top of the line with this shot as well.
Oh, I think you should, yeah.
You have to
Just
go for
keep
it.
lining them up. So out turn hit.
Whoa. Yep.
Jackson Bestlin.
Yes.
Yep.
Hard.
Hard.
Hard bench.
Hard roll.
Whoa.
It's close.
Whoa.
Oh, that's close.
Really good, bud.
Look at that.
And line continues.
That yellow rock is looking around like, what is going on right now?
What were you saying about being prophetic?
That is
Or
something.
you do this.
Now, Ben, we talk a lot about
I'm seeing this though.
rock transfer when there are freezes
7-5.
and having to throw an extra 2-3 feet of weight for each rock that's frozen on something. They're going to have to throw peel eventually just to tap that rock to the button.
Just off.
This is a fun end so far.
I'm not sure I've ever seen that many stones frozen on one rock before, on either side of it.
Especially not a men's game. I'd say doubles. You see that pretty often, but when there's not those placed rocks, it's a lot more rare.
6-8. Holy Jesus.
What do you think we're guarding?
I think you freeze, personally.
We're kind of just guarding this one, so he can't pick it.
And here's the thing, too.
Yeah, 4.
If they continue to guard on this line, eventually Hebert could pick that stone out. If you hit what you can see, get that to go.
Line's good. Easy.
Feels down.
Easy, benchies.
You can curl it.
Curl.
Curl.
Curl and go.
Curl.
At least the good news for
Gotta
Team
curl.
Brenden is their yellow in that
Hard bench.
large
Hard
line
bench.
of rocks
Hard
is
bench all the way.
second
Hard
closest to the
Hard-
button. So
hard
all they
bench,
have to
gotta
do
go.
is
Get all the
make
way over.
contact
Keep
with
going.
that
Hard.
line and they'll be
Keep
shot.
going. Pretty good.
Oh, they're going to move him. Better get a picture now if you're going to do it.
Pull out your phones now.
Yeah.
Take the screenshot.
Do you ever like 9-5 or no? I think 9-5. It's a lot of rocks.
Hey, you could hit this in a spot where there's
9-5.
still 5
9-5.
perfectly lined up.
Yeah, Ben, that's the beauty of this game, too, is every game you watch, you may see something you've never seen before. No matter how many games you play, I'm quite certain I haven't seen 4 red stones surrounding 1 yellow stone like that before.
Okay. That works.
There goes the perfect line.
What if I just hit on the nose? What if I just do this?
Does that? Does it go down? Or does
Yeah,
it,
usually when you have these freezes, you don't want to mess up the line by hitting it yourself. But when you have 3 frozen on there, I don't see that it's a problem. I think you just need to hit it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I was seeing like
I think you hit this if you're Team Hebert and sit.
Yeah, you can't wait.
That rock's never
No,
gone
you have
down.
to make a move now, I think.
I don't think the drag changes any. True.
Yeah, they're talking about the drag effect now too. Does it change for
like the roll this
3
way?
stones?
Like 9 or 10.
I like
I
they're
honestly
going
don't
this
know.
way.
Does it change?
Well, this top one, the top red will drag the second one right. So the second one should pull that one right as well because it's on that side of the stone. So I think they all go this way.
Rolling a little bigger is actually
If you hit the
Including
top
that
one on
third
that
one?
side. Yeah, I think even the yellow pulls that way just because the rotation is all going that direction.
back ever.
And you see the clocks. 9 minutes remaining for Hebert, 9:24 for Brenden. Just about a little under pace, but not bad. Caden Hebert's first.
Close. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, gotta go.
Hard.
Gotta go.
Hard.
Don't think we're going to find out on the
Hard for
drag
those.
on this one.
Hard.
Ooh, just papers by that second yellow. Red sitting at least 1. Looks like yellow's 2.
I think that just jams. Or does it?
I was wondering if you could throw
drag off it?
peel on those top ones and get that red in the top 4 foot out of there, but they're thinking it might jam on the left one. Hard
They
to
might
say
be
from
right.
here.
Like if we throw a lot of weight, do you think it moves it here or no?
Certainly would want it to drag as much as possible to avoid jamming. Might just touch it and roll off.
Yeah. I think we throw pretty heavy.
I was wondering if you could ever get rid of all 4 reds, but I don't think that's quite there.
Yeah.
Maybe on the nose with a bullet.
7-5 on the nose. Yeah. Okay. Should get them all moving.
Okay, they seem to think that you can get them all moving. So
Yeah, it's close on that back stone. You may even want to hit it just a touch high so it drags a hair and you got a better chance of missing your back one.
7-5. Soft.
chance to find out here.
Yep. Yep. Oh my God.
It's curling quite a bit though.
That's
Just
terrible.
loses the 1.
Nice soft.
And all of a sudden now you can hit that
Yeah, I
back
heard you say
stone
it.
and sit, I believe,
This is
4,
terrible.
No,
at
they
the
are.
least 3.
Like this is good, but if you roll
Well,
out,
this is what does he do if I make it over here?
You also can throw the draw to the side of the 4 foot.
We're stealing, right?
yeah, probably.
What does he have?
Yeah, I'm not against that call. You make the draw top 4 really good. It makes
He thinks he's okay.
Brendan's shot for 1 harder. It's just a question of,
Even full
do you want him looking at 4 rocks, or do you want to make his shot at 1 more difficult?
Pretty good here.
Knowing Brenden and how well he's been drawing this game, I think I like this shot because I don't see any. I don't see 4 rocks getting in his head at all. I think he's going to make that no problem.
20.
So in turn draw.
Line's good. Easy then.
Make this draw. You're going to leave your
Easy.
opponent with an extremely difficult shot,
Line's
even
good.
stealing 1 point.
Little room.
gives you a very high percentage chance of winning the game. Just don't
6.
want to over curl on
14-8.
this line and leave that
Carve,
hole
carve.
through the port
Got to curl.
to go to your own stones. And you need this to stop.
Whoa.
It's not bad, but that's your way in now. You can play either way. You can play the in-turn around just like Hebert did, or you can play the out-turn through the hole. Either shot just for one, and neither one easy.
Yeah, both a pretty high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, I think I like that draw, looking at where the angles are at from the previous shot, just because that number 1 counter was never in danger.
Hey, boys, you cool with calling time?
Yep.
Great.
We'll get a timeout now, and Coach Dave Jensen will come out to chat about this one. We'll listen in and see what they think about this shot and what their best way in is.
The only other way, yeah.
I think it's this with like back 4, right?
Yeah, it's just a tap. So seeing this with a tap.
Through that hole. Yeah. Yeah. What weight? Just like
Back 4,
back
8.
4? Back 8 probably.
I mean, you get by that guard, you're golden, right? Because you're not going to have enough weight.
Yeah, no,
I think I like back 4 then.
I like back 4.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we just gotta rub this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
4 out.
So it's a drawing here.
Yep.
It's actually like
95.
as long as you catch the inside of it.
95.
Ben, I like the
Yeah.
shot call. I don't know that I like the
Back
weight
yeah.
call as much. 'Cause you have to kind of hold straight when you get through the hole to make sure you don't over curl and get to nose. So I think I'd rather throw like a back 8, back 12 on this. If you get through the hole with back 12 or back 8, you make the shot. If you get through the hole with back 4, it still might over curl.
Right here?
Yeah, I don't disagree. You could even throw like back line to hack, as long as you just make contact with the red. If you're throwing that heavy draw weight, you're making the shot. But yeah, you're right. With back 4, it might just over curl too much if you get by the guard. You just want to throw the weight where you get through the hole, you make the shot.
It's awfully tough to throw it with anywhere between back 8 to back line and not curl enough to make contact with that red stone, in which case there's no way you're spilling out too far to score.
Yeah, I think with back 8, you get through the hole, it's impossible to miss that one on the right.
So final stone of the 8th.
Weight's good.
Delicate shot for Zach Brenden.
Down. Hard straight. Really gotta go. A little down. Oh, top 8.
Straight.
Hard straight on.
Straight.
Hard gotta
Very
go.
close on the line.
Hard to cut him down
I think they're just going for weight
on.
now
Hard on. Hard get
and
by.
to get by.
Oh, it just hairs that top stone. Taps the other red up, but just ends up being 2. So a steal of 2 makes this a 9-6 game. Hebert leads. And one more time in this 8th end break, Warm Room Hero is more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. A look at our other scores in this evening draw once again. Mason Gensel, the 7-5 lead in the 10th over Aiden Fitzgerald on sheet A. Sheet B, Nick Senzali leading 4-2 in the 8th on Caden Rose. Sheet C, Ryan Church leading Matthew Lanoy 6-4 in the 9th. And our feature matchup on sheet D, Caden Hebert, the steal of 2 in the 8th end, now leading 9-6 over Zach Brenden. Tyler George here with men's national silver medalist and WUG silver medalist Ben Richardson. Ben, this is, regardless of how the score ends up, has been a fantastic game to watch and call. The shot making has been elite level stuff and a lot of points in this game.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun to watch, and you know, there's those steals for Team Hebert, but it's not like Zach was missing them by a mile. Like, he was really close to making those shots. The shot making has just been really fun to watch.
Yeah, important to note that Brenden had a run for 3, and that steal of 1 in the 6th. Shot for 2, and a steal of 1 in the 7th with a tap, and then another shot, at least a score in the 8th.
It's a little poke.
So give us a little more.
Bless you.
I was supposed to be off air.
Yeah.
Double pushed it. Al Michaels would be ashamed.
Yeah, like you were saying, though, the degree of difficulty for those shots was really high.
Lots of room right now. Okay. Mine's getting better.
Feels two. Gotta go.
Straight.
Gotta go line.
Cutting hard.
And you never know with the 5-rock roll.
Wow.
Down 3 with. Still got a game going here.
Oopsies.
2, 3.
3.
3-ish.
Now the key here is you have to get a minimum of 2. You know, stealing 1 is infinitely, I'm not going to say easier, but more likely than stealing 2. So getting your 2 now with hammer is the important thing. You're going all out for a 2 no matter what. Even if you feel like your last shot's a 10%er to get a 2, it's worth playing, just playing the percentages in this game.
1.5.
Yeah, and then you steal 1 in the last end. If you're able to steal, there's no reason why you can't steal in the extra.
Right?
It's like definitely gonna stuff on the double peel now.
I mean, the only option's probably this. All right. I want to stick this though. Yeah. 7-5. Okay. Try to stick it. 7-5.
Yeah, really important that the shooter sticks around playing this shot for
No.
Miles Graybow. It'll be an instantaneous double peel, if not.
Yep.
Yeah, and that would pretty much take the end away from Team Brenden.
Whoa. 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 Sit.
Does stay, but goes out pretty wide. So I think they're ripping those guards anyways.
It does cover
Curly
part
is
of the
the peel,
house,
right?
so is usable, but
Intern.
a lot of distance between that guard and the Reds in the house.
We got thick half.
Okay.
Yeah, anywhere close to half, thick half, these should fly out pretty easily.
Even 3/4, I think, those
Yep.
striking bands, I think that shooter's way gone.
Clean. Yes. Roll. Hard roll. Gotta go out, JV. Gotta go.
Yeah, well made there
Really
by
good.
Peril.
What?
Wait, bench.
So you gotta like the looks of things now if you're a Bear.
Yeah. Unless you play this.
Yeah, and I think the key to this end for Team Hebert was how well placed those 2 first rocks were by Jack.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jack Wentland, again, a strong game for him. Both leads have played extremely well. Owen Nelson on the other side.
Yep. Clean. Whoa.
So you see Team Brenden playing the hit now.
Whoa, no. Curl.
This ends up rolling out too, so
That's just
probably
random.
another peel, and
Okay.
all of a sudden don't have much chance at scoring.
Yeah, I mean, the second one looked better out of the hack than the first one.
And Ben, if you're Team Brenden now after this, are you just hitting out and taking hammer to the 9th or to the 10th down by 3?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think if it was me, I would still try to go for the 2, maybe play some type of a freeze on that top button rock, and then
Good.
Team Hebert may just try to blast it out and you get your blank anyways, or you can draw around it. I think at this point, like you said, you really have to go for your 2.
Yeah, I would think, I mean, it's unlikely that they get forced in this situation, so the freeze probably isn't real dangerous. But if you have the choice between being down 2 without and being up 3 or down 3 with,
Full 4.
you got a much better chance of getting 3 with hammer with 5 rock rule than stealing 2 without it.
Yeah, I do think
Back 4.
blank is the next best option after taking your 2.
Okay.
Fine.
And now if you're Team Hebert, you definitely want to stick. You can get your force.
And either one's for.
As long as you don't leave a pocket or something to freeze to give up that 2.
Whoa, 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 curl.
Whoa.
Yes, curl.
So now you just want to be careful where you leave this one. And out is not a terrible spot, but ends up stopping in the outside of the house there.
Okay, bud.
So another freeze attempt. I think this might be time maybe to hit and roll over towards that one. The freeze now might be trapping you into getting forced without a great chance of scoring 2.
Stay close.
Yeah, certainly have to make this one perfect.
Looks close.
If you make it really good though, and they blast everything out of there, you might have the freeze on the side red one.
Yep. Got him here. Yep. Hard, Miles. Yep. Hard.
It's
Yes.
looking pretty close.
We're up to it.
Okay.
Well, not a bad shot. A little bit of separation though, should be able to get both of those going. I don't think it jams on the back one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it does go over the
Yeah,
top.
we're trying to catch a
You'd have
piece
to
of
catch that red really thin.
You definitely have to catch a piece.
Yeah. Just try to get it out. If we don't, it's not the end of the world.
I feel like most likely all rocks are gone with this shot, so there's still a chance for Zach on this first
Like a little
to
thicker than just a pick.
maybe freeze on that side one. Force Caden to kind of go out in the wings a bit more with his rock.
First shot of the 9th for Caden Hebert. He's had a great game today. Tons of shot making from him. That's well made by Caden. Gets that over the top, no problem.
An extra rotation again on those peels.
I think that's pretty good.
This is a spot out here, Ben, that the
985,
peel out can be a little tricky if you freeze this on like 7/8 on the inside. You got to shoot that rock a long ways, and the rock's going to be going backwards probably with peel weight.
Yeah, it could make Caden look at a bit of a tricky line here on his last.
Very difficult freeze, too, to place it on that spot out here. With how hard it curls once you're getting into the wings, going inside out. Zach Brenden attempting this
Nice.
Weight feels good.
in-turn freeze.
Weight feels good.
I feel good.
Feels good.
Feels good. It feels up.
Yeah, maybe touch heavy.
See if this hits the brakes out in the wings now. Still coasting. Yeah, great line.
Not bad, guys.
Just a hair up.
All good.
Yeah.
does end up punching that red out, so at least he'll still have his blank attempt on his last.
If he wants one, he can have it. Just good true 10 here.
So hit and stick will be the call here for Hebert.
Close.
Whoa,
Yep.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yep.
whoa. Yep.
Yes. Clean. Clean.
Another good throw here from Caden. I think we heard that they are going to elect to try to blank.
Well, I guess try to take our 3 in the last.
I think I like that. I mean, even if you look at the scoreboard, Team Brenden has had more luck scoring with hammer than they have stealing. Or no, I guess they did steal 2 in the 4th end, so really just up to preference. But I do like blanking. I like trying to go for 3 with hammer. I think statistics would say that this is the right shot.
Absolutely, percentage-wise, the correct shot. So Zach Brenden playing for the blank.
Yep. Whoa, you're good. Yep. Yep.
Blank is made, so we will go on to the 10th. Hebert still leading Brenden 9-6. Tenth end of action in this feature matchup. The 2024 U21 Men's National Championship. Tyler George here with Ben Richardson. Caden Hebert leading 9-6 over Zach Brenden. Team Brenden was up 6-3 after 4 ends, has not scored since. Not for lack of chances. Had multiple chances to score in this second half on very difficult final shots. But Team Hebert has been a freight train in the 5th end on. And Ben, I still feel like we're far from done with the way this game has gone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this last end has a chance of being just as entertaining as all the other ends have been.
Oh, looks pretty good. Hey, it's gonna grab though. Just stay close. Nope, 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 nope.
Weights are real nice.
Nope, never.
Mine's good, weight's good.
Whoa, really good.
Really nice start, Owen.
Good sweep,
Top
guys.
4.
Yeah.
So all about rock position now for Team Brenden. Team Hebert will be playing straight up defense all the way through. Ben, this is really where the 5 rock rule makes this situation more exciting. Essentially, you could map this entire end out with 4 rock rule on where the teams are going to go as long as the shots are executed. That's not the case at all with 5 rock.
And it certainly makes the job of us seconds a little more interesting than it used to be. Especially that first rock for the second for that team with hammer. That's usually the crucial rock if you can get that in a good position, or tap rocks into certain places. that'll usually
That's good.
dictate the way the end will go.
Wait, I like the weight. 2-3. Weight's
Right
good.
here. Straight always.
Weight's good.
Just even.
Weight's real nice.
Do you have a preference
I think you
here
can go
between
middle.
same side corner guards or opposite sides?
Up. Yep. Well,
I've always preferred the opposite ones just because
well,
when you have the same side,
really good pair on.
it's easier to get underneath and bury with 2 stones, but you're kind of pigeonholed into playing to one side when you have 2. And there may be some kind of quarter miss or half miss that pushes you more towards one side than the other, and your opponent can push you one way or the other too. So you have options to go either way. It gives you more leeway for what types of shots you can play.
5,
But
6.
I can certainly understand on the other side of things, if you stack on the same side
5.
and you get underneath, it may take your opponents 2 shots to be able to get to that stone because they have to peel 2 guards off if they're not lined up well enough to make a double peel. So I don't, again, not a right or wrong with that. It is a preference. Do you have one yourself?
Well, I was just going to say, with historically, when I've tried both, I've had more success with opposite side corner guards than the same side. But I mean, there's pros and cons to both, and I really don't have a great argument either way. I think, like you said, it's really just a team preference thing and what you have, what you tend to do better with.
Pull it to here. Back 8.
That's one you can play devil's advocate for on either side.
Yeah.
It's now all about trying to create opportunities.
Clean.
See Zach Brenden trying to tap these stones around, maybe create a pocket in the front of the house.
Hard line. Gotta go line. Yep.
Yeah, if you could punch one of these reds back behind a corner guard to be able to freeze to it, I think that would be ideal. And maybe roll frozen
Really
onto
good.
one, which
That's not a bad result there. He does roll to a freeze. If that red stone would have gone another foot or 2 behind that corner, it'd be better yet. But quick decision here from Caden Hebert to peel that guard. I like the call.
Yep. Clean.
Heel.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Clean.
That peel nicely made.
yeah, for Team Hebert, the shot should be fairly simple from here on out.
I think we try this.
See rock, hit rock.
This angle isn't good for a come around.
True. You ever just like this then?
I think also the nice thing for that roll with where that yellow ended up, even if you get a rock behind there, the drag, you can still hit those rocks in a way that you can't really hide anywhere behind there. The red's always going straight back.
Feels up. Feels up.
Oh, lots of line. Lots of line.
Freeze attempt here.
It's always curl. Curl. Where?
Miles
Looks
Graybow
over.
trying to lock this on.
We go back. Straight. Straight. Okay.
It's just a little in between. Ends up tapping and sitting open. I believe he had a timeout there from Caden Hebert. So Coach Mike Poplinski will come out and chat about this one.
I think there's really just 2 shots to decide here, whether or not you peel the corner or you try to hit the yellow that they just threw.
Yeah, I think Mike will tell him to hit the rock in the house. We'll see what they say.
I just don't like that angle.
No, yeah.
I think they're going to hit the easy one. They're just going to eliminate rocks, right? Yeah. So if they do that, just freeze up to that one, tap it back a little bit.
Hey, good setup on though. Really good pair.
You got the idea though, right?
Yeah.
When they put 3 rocks in the house like that, I'll be like this, they're just helping us out. Pick this yellow. Probably onto this one again. This one again. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. I like this. Peel.
So hitting the rock in the house, I agree with this call too. That even if you roll out, you're still sitting 3. It's going to be awfully tough for Brenden to find 3 with where these rocks are set up.
Yeah, I think you can look at this in a way where you're creating a lot of work for Team Brenden to do, sitting 4.
Right.
With not a ton of rocks left in the end.
Clean.
I like peeling this out too and not leaving more clutter.
I always got that one. What is just one rock? Happy Harry.
Yeah, as you said, Ben, there's just not a lot of angles, spots to go to try to get free, let alone 4. You need a half miss somewhere in here. Connor Graybow.
Looks close. Looks close.
The Graybow brothers have played well today as well.
Careful.
Nowhere you can point in either lineup where you didn't see a player have a strong game.
Like T. Straight. Oh.
Good chip and freeze off of it now.
Okay.
Team Brenden running out of bullets in the chamber.
Actually, let's go this.
Sure. I still like
Yeah,
Peel.
get rid of this one.
I still kind of
Same
like
turn.
Peel.
Now you want to be careful here with moving this rock up another rock. Could create a situation where there's a freeze you can make where you can't get the rock out, which they don't have right now. I'd still prefer to pick this clean, probably.
Clean, whoa.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think either one really is.
Pretty good.
That's perfect there.
Yeah, that
even
works.
tickles that one back a little bit and makes it even better.
Is it the same one? Okay. I'll give you a hair less here.
I'm wondering now with how late the end is, you might maybe hit and roll off of that right one because you got to start thinking about eliminating reds at this point.
Yeah, you could hit the back one and try to roll long under the corner.
That works too.
Where? Looks close.
Then you may even get a chance to play the double off of the frozen rock in the top of the 12s, even though it's a little thin.
It's all there.
It looks really nice.
I'm just wondering if it's a little bit too late to be calling the straight freeze.
Really good throw.
Yeah, it's just you have to map it out. Say if we make this, how are we getting 3 afterwards?
Yeah.
I think your best way would have been
If you roll,
hit that red in the back 4, roll all the way under the corner.
pretty good.
Yeah, I think either way, playing some type of hit and roll, make it so you're only looking at 2 reds instead of 3.
Good for Braylon knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, Braylon knows.
Now I don't think you're worried about losing your shooter. Just sit 4.
Just knows. Rolling left is better than going. All right. Good for him.
Just elimination time here for Hebert. Only 2 stones to go for Team Brenden.
Yep.
Yep. Gotta go, Ben.
Yep. Hard. Hard, Benji. Hard. Whoa.
Roll out.
All the way.
Whoa.
You're good. Whoa.
So the hit is made. Now Hebert sitting 3.
So.
I was going to say, I think that might be your best call here is try to play a little almost an around the horn with those 2 right reds and try to roll your shooter somewhere either behind that red-yellow frozen rock or behind the corner.
Yeah, that's basically your only play.
Yeah, I think that's your only shot.
You could still just play the hit and roll on the back one. You're just going to need a miss then out of your opponent, and then you'd have to play the thin double on the top yellow.
Right. This one's more fun, though.
Yeah, it's the best result for sure, too.
8-5. Yeah.
The old wheel.
8-5.
We need a big overshoot for you boys.
No.
Play it to almost miss it.
I think this way's
Just
easier.
feather it. Maybe a thin quarter.
Yeah, I'd say
A little more than a feather.
a 6th. 'Cause I think an 8th is too little. And
Yeah.
a quarter's too much.
We'll call it a 7th.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere in there. circus shot attempt here from Zach Brenden, trying to take both Reds out and roll under the corner.
Hey. Yep. 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 Whoa. Yep. 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 Yes. Yep. Roll it big. Whoa. Ah. Good old Steve. I started.
Well, there's your teaser.
You hate peel or peel? Peel.
Make sure it's peel. Just, can't over curl is all. If that rolled another half a foot, that would have been a little interesting.
Yeah, a little unlucky to get caught in between there. Almost made the roll behind everything and almost made the roll on top. Make the rock go away.
Caden Hebert trying to put the finishing touches on this comeback win. Blank peel,
Clean.
just removing that yellow stone.
Whoa. Clean.
Whoa, whoa.
Clean.
Sweeper's just cleaning, looks to be no problem.
Good game, guys. Good game.
And that is a final.
Trailing.
Get X's on the board, 9-6. Hebert with the win.
Thank you, Miles.
Ben, really fun one to call, fun
Thank you,
one to
brother.
watch. 15 points on the board, and almost all of them from well put together ends and not misses by opponents.
Oh,
Yeah, this was an absolute pleasure to watch. I don't think the scoreboard quite reflects the level of play from both teams. This was a close one all the way to the end.
So big victory for Hebert, positioning themselves for the playoffs now at 4-1. Zach Brenden drops to 3-2, but still in the thick of things. Both these teams will have aspirations to get into that national championship game. Coverage again tomorrow morning. The big boss, CEO Dean Gemmel, will be in the booth on the call as yours truly takes the morning off. I'll be back at noon with Anya Normandou for the call on the next men's draw. For Tyler George, Ben Richardson, and the Curling Stadium crew, thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
first evening practice team can take the ice. We have Fitzgerald on D, Hugh on C, Sazali on D.
Your draw weight, that's the best it's been all week. You whip it up.
I don't know if they're gonna. I think they thought that we didn't. Oh, they're gonna throw it.
Color. Team Fitzgerald.
It's 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 4, 7, 8. Just throw those rocks and see if they're good. If you like those, if they kind of get a feel for it, and you can time by hand if you want. How's that? Yep. Does that work? Are you sure? What?
No. I was asking if they knew what you did.
Team Sazali to you. You can go ahead and start.
Yeah, we'll go there. Let's go opposite back. Yeah, that looks good.
Are you scripted to only yellow?
Yes. Well,
I was just wondering if I could throw a practice.
You want to throw red?
Ready?
Team Fitzgerald, if you're in the house, practice is open. Team Fitzgerald.